Who will dare to face the challenge of the Funhouse? Who is brave enough? Who is mad enough to enter that world of darkness? Terrifying, terrifying. You will scream with terror. You will pay for release. But there will be no escape. For there is no release from the Funhouse.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's happening, everybody? What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Yeah, this is kind of off the beaten track for us, isn't it?
We're covering one film.
Yeah, we have done a few slashes, mind them, we in the past.
We've done some, yeah, but this is a special one, man.
It is. This is more than a slasher, I think.
Yeah, and this one was like, I'll never forget when I was a kid, man. I was at the skating rink of all places. And back in the day at the skating rinks, I don't know if they did that over there, but did I pause or anything?
Oh no, I'm listening.
Okay, I was making sure I was still there because I seen you freeze a second. But
anyway,
but at the skating rinks back in the day, so we would have all night skates, so kids could stay the night all night at the skating rink. And
right, okay. Yeah.
And there was TVs, like the big ass TVs, in the skating rink. And I remember seeing the Funhouse commercial in the skating rink. I must have been probably 6 or 7, something like that. And I guess the film was coming on TV pretty soon. But I just remember seeing that trailer and with the fat woman, and it was and it just was so creepy, man. That's the first time I've seen anything about the Funhouse. But yeah, this one,
all that kind of like all those like I don't know what you would call them. I think he got them from like a Chicago Film Festival or something back in the late 1800s, or might have been a bit later. But no,
he said they were. Yeah, he said they're very old. Man. So yeah.
But when you're saying about the TV because there's a completely different TV version. I don't know if you know this, which you could probably get like all of it on YouTube going back, but someone's took it down.
Yeah.
But that's kind of interesting as well. But I needed to really go back and watch that because I haven't got like a physical copy or anything.
Right.
But it's like 10 minutes apparently of different deleted scenes and this and that.
I remember it was creepy as hell though, seeing that commercial back in the day on regular TV, in the skating rink late at night. You're like, I must have been 7 or 8 because I don't think but yeah, we got to do shit like that back then.
Well, that's like, this is when they used to make trailers,
Right.
These, because I remember the video trailer, for the normal, VHS version. And man, the trailers back in the early 80s were great.
Yeah, the TV commercials, like on TV. Like that shit was creepy as hell, man. Like there's something to it, man. Shit was scarier back then for some reason. I guess, like it's just so weird. But
yeah, we'll come into that, man. I mean, this is one of my. I've always said it. This is in my top 3 slashers, but like I just said a minute ago, I think it's kind of more than a slasher in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah,
because you've got the whole Universal Monsters thing going on.
You got the Carnival aesthetic, with this, with the shady carnies, like. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that worldwide. Like that's, these people just are kind of like bohemian vagabonds that travel, like. But
man, we used to have that back as well, back in the 80s. Do they do it so much now over there in America? Do you get traveling carnivals?
We
don't really get much.
We have a state fair once a year.
Oh, okay, yeah. So are they all like them type characters as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Really is. Really is, man. It's crazy. But hold on, let me catch the chat, man. We got quite a few people in here.
Nice, man.
That's cool. Let's see who's all in here. We got Corey, Wilkie's Movies and Music. Hey y'all, what's going on, man?
Hey Corey, what's up, man?
We got Cinephile Sanity, Sean, underrated
hey,
slasher.
Sean,
yeah, man.
It is.
I think so too. And this one always gets overlooked, man. From Hooper, I know it didn't even do that. It didn't do real well either. Like when it came out, right?
I think it did like moderately well. It wasn't a big success or anything.
It was nothing like
no. I mean, like coming off the back of Salem's Lot as well, where he basically he had kind of a little bit of like interference with the producers and that on Salem's Lot. Not too much, he said, but with this one, they kind of just let him do what he wanted.
This is his first big budget like studio film, and Universal backing him so he could use Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. That's cool.
They basically give him whatever pick he wanted with the mask. I think the two guys as well that do the special effects. I think Rob Bottin done a little bit of effects work.
Rick Baker.
Mainly did the most of it
because learned a ton from Dick Smith. So
yeah. And they said to Rick Baker as well, they didn't really have like a design in mind, so they just said to him, just do what just you've got kind of, this is your thing. You can do and make the creature however you want to. Right. And boy, I think he does a great job.
Hell yeah,
I'll
man.
Be honest.
Let me catch the chat right quick before we get too crazy in there. Too far into it, I mean. But,
man. Yeah.
Let's see. We got Aiden. What's going on?
Yeah, I was speaking to Aiden earlier on Facebook. I told him because I know this is one of his favorites. So
what's going on? Man. Hell yeah. Welcome to the panel of pain. Got Texas in here. What's going on, man?
What's up, Tex? Yeah.
You got Sydney Eubanks in here. What's happening? What's going on, man?
Hey, Sydney.
Aiden says, I couldn't miss this one. I absolutely adore Tobe Hooper's works. Yeah. And the thing about,
big time.
There's something I got to say about Hooper. Like, I know I'm going to catch a chat here in a second, but one thing separates Hooper from so many other directors especially in the horror, is he's an absolute horror fan. You know, like if you listen
Yeah.
to like William Friedkin, he's not really a horror fan. I mean, he did Exorcist, right? I'm just saying, like, there's so many directors that are not true fans. He's a fanboy all the way of horror. He completely embraced the horror genre, like, and said, "I am a horror director." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely. He kind of gets overlooked as well, and people, I don't know why, you know. And I'm a fan of. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Wes Craven.
yeah,
Some of his films are classics, but he's not. To me, he's not in the same league as Tobe Hooper.
no,
You know, just for that one film alone, and Texas Chainsaw, obviously.
Texas
But
Chainsaw, Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot is hands down fucking one of the best. It is the best vampire film ever made, but it's one of the best TV films ever made as well. Yeah, you've got Eaten Alive, which that doesn't get a lot of respect that it should, you know. I know with the X coming out, it was a bit of a homage to it in that, and that kind of got it, you know, talked about a little bit more.
That's probably a big reason I love X like I do, because that's a big head nod to Hooper, man.
But yeah, he doesn't get, you know, we talk all day long about Friedkin and Wes Craven, and I love those films. The Exorcist is one of my favorite
and Romero
films ever as well.
You know,
Romero. Another great director, but I mean, Hooper not many people do streams on him or talk about him, which is surprising.
No. It's usually Carpenter, or you know,
Carpenter's the big one. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you know, when we come onto the film, you know, I listened to the commentary. I know Dirk did as well.
Yeah.
And he's so great doing those commentaries, Hooper. He gives you so much information about everything and anything, you know.
Yeah, man. He's real cool, man, you know. Like, he's just
you can imagine him sat back with his Dr. Pepper and his big cigar.
Like, which is it though? Like, because everybody's saying one person said he was a Coke addict, meaning Coca-Cola addict, and then one person said he was RC, and then somebody else said Dr. Pepper. So I was like, well, shit, which one is it?
I always see photos with him with Dr. Pepper. Okay. Always see like old photos of him.
Right.
And a big like cigar as well. I used to love his cigars.
Right.
And he was old school as well. And you could tell he was the type of person on that commentary. He just no bullshit, you know, just say how it is. And, you know, we need more people like that in this kind of world today, but
definitely do, man. We got everybody saying, hey, Sean says, poor two-headed creature just wanted to dip his wick. Yeah. That's
right.
That's
yeah.
He was, I mean, if you think about Gunther, he's a lot like Leatherface in a lot of ways.
Man, there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah. He's just really like, you know, they're both kind of like just reactive. They're not evil. They're just reacting to shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And you've got the whole father and son relationship, and you've got Leatherface with the brother, and they kind of got a similar dynamic between them. And it probably would be doing this film a disservice to say that it's kind of like, you know, that it riffs off Texas Chainsaw, but obviously you can see the nods in there like throughout.
I think, you know, it's the same creator, so, and he does something completely different as well. So
absolutely, yeah, which we'll come on to, you know, yeah.
The mayor says time to give Gunther his due. Yeah, definitely, man. I love the character, man, because you kind of feel sorry for him, man, in a way. Like, it's just you know,
because the evil one is the father, really, if you think about it.
But I mean, is he, or are the kids or the teens? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, there's that as well. There's quite a lot to talk about with this. I think he's one of the best slasher villains. Gunther is one of the best I've seen. And the whole makeup as well, and the way, you know, we'll come on to the actor as well who played him. It's a guy called Wayne Dober, and he was he was basically a mime artist, but you can see that, you know, he's got, I think he barely says one line, then he says father, or maybe in one word. But but you can tell by the way he does portray that character, you know, through just images alone, like, you know, rather than talking. Bit like Leatherface in that regard as well. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I got a question here from Sydney. He says, question, Dirk. What movie played the biggest role in your childhood? It's actually, there's two of them. I know I'm people, you know, I've said it before. It was the same night that I watched both of them, and it was The Exorcist and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They kind of like both pulled me into the genre of horror. It scared the shit out of me, but pulled me deeper in, and I wanted more. Like
you probably blow your load in that one night, basically, because you're not going to get much better than that again.
Right. I was like, damn, is all these movies like that? And then I had to watch a bunch of shitty movies. Like,
yeah. And then you throw on The Exorcist or something like that.
Right. But yeah, I watched them both the same night, and at 6 years old, I think it was just it's a tie between them two. But my favorite film of all time is The Shining, which I mentioned 100 million times. But I seen it later. I seen it when I was like a teenager, I think. So.
I can't wait till we do that. We're gonna try and do that towards October time, maybe.
Right.
Or the winter probably would be better, wouldn't it?
I think the winter time.
Yeah.
Sean says, oh, he's saying hey to everybody. Aiden says it's so obvious Rob Zombie was heavily influenced by Tobe Hooper as a filmmaker, and I'm glad you said that because
he is. Yeah.
I have a synopsis that I wrote that says something about that. So
yeah.
So let's see. Holland Oates says, "What's up, Dirk and Darren? What's happening, man?
What's up, Holland?
Now the stream has officially begun.
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend, Holland Oates is here. Let's see. Papa Thias Pap Smear Classic. Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Hey, Pap Smear.
What's going on? Let's see. I think traveling carnivals are history in America now. Yeah, well, except for state fairs. Like, as I still see, I mean, it's not exactly a carnival, but it's a lot of the same type of people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat, because we used to have them back in the 80s as well, and very similar to what's in this film. And you'd always have, you know, wandering little kids on their own, you know, so it brings it all back, you know.
Right.
And then you take maybe, you know, girlfriend to the fair as well and all that. So it brings back a lot of nostalgia, I think, for people, this film. For me, anyway,
it does.
You know?
This is big nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because I've seen it on TV. Like, you know, I don't really remember because it was so shitty on TV watching it. Like, everything was real dark and couldn't see nothing clear as this damn, you know, especially as 4K. The Blu-ray, I'm sure, is solid. The Arrow Blue.
Yeah. I haven't even upgraded the 4K, but I'd definitely be thinking about it.
Right.
Because the colors in this just absolutely pop.
They do, man. It's very Bava, like very Bava-esque. You know what I mean? If you think about it.
Yeah. You got the Hooper guy.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry. Go on.
I was just saying you could tell maybe a combination between Hooper and the cinematographer, like where, you know, it looks like Bava was a huge influence. But maybe.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think he got the guy who did I think it was The Warriors. He got the cinematographer for that.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right.
He may have done Salem's Lot as well. So, but I mean, this was his first kind of widescreen film as well, whereas Salem's Lot obviously was done for a TV aspect. But yeah, man, this is a great one. I'm going to have some fun talking about this one, I think.
Let's see. We got try not to miss nobody. We got Blair Hathaway in here. What's going on, man?
Hey, Blair.
We got I'm trying to make sure people are talking amongst themselves. Ultraviolet Hippie, UVH Kraken in from Kentucky.
Hey, man. How's things?
What's happening? I've only seen a few of Hooper's films, but The Funhouse is probably my favorite one for childhood nostalgia alone. Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's got that vibe, man. It does, really does.
I think the two films we mentioned previously, like Texas Chainsaw and Salem's Lot, are my favorites. But this probably comes in like third or fourth at least.
It's in my
Because
top
I'm
five. That'd be
yeah,
hard.
yeah, that's the
I'd
best
have to
way. Yeah,
really sit down and look at everything. But Papa Thigh says Friedkin
yeah,
was definitely a cinephile. Yeah, definitely was. But I just noticed a lot of the directors though they kind of like, or actors as well. They always kind of like, it's like horror is lowbrow. Like they're like, I'm not a fan of horror. You know, people that are in
yeah,
horror,
yeah.
they don't like the genre. They don't watch it and shit. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but he
And
also
there's the
says
whole debate as well about Poltergeist, which we'll come on to later as well. I don't know
right.
how you
Yeah,
feel about that actually.
I think it's Hooper all the way, and I know that Spielberg cut it and edited it the way he wanted,
Yeah,
but I think it's a combination of the two. But you can definitely see, like in this film, when you watch this, it looks like Poltergeist direction in some scenes. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I
it
think it's
really does.
bullshit. Everyone saying Spielberg took on the directing of Poltergeist.
He was
I
doing
think he was
ET, but yeah.
exactly. I think he was there at times, and he was like looking over Hooper, but
Now
it's definitely Hooper's camera work.
he did completely edit it the way exactly he wanted. You know, uh,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
there's that. But
I think it's because it looks really polished as well, Poltergeist, compared to
yeah,
like Texas Chainsaw. People don't really put the two and two together, but you can tell it's Hooper. I think
there's
most
no
of it
money.
anyway.
There's no money with Chainsaw though, and that's just
Yeah, yeah,
amazing. Like that you can make a film like that with no money.
yeah,
But
yeah.
let's see. Papa Thigh says Life Force is a Coke movie. Yeah, yeah. It's
I've still not seen Life Force, which I need to get to watch that. I think.
Life Force is a huge favorite of mine. It's just a one of a kind film right there. Yeah, it's definitely it's got some like Planet of the Vampires. Have you seen that one by Baba?
No, that one's eluded me as well.
Okay. Well, Life Force you could say probably borrowed something from Planet of the Vampires, you know. A
Okay,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah. But Tobe Hooper, Sydney says Tobe Hooper, one of the best underrated horror directors. My favorite movie from him is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. Definitely, yeah. It's
It's
number one out of everything he's done. Yeah, and it's in my top three films. Uh, the reason I say that is because Exorcist and TCM are tied for second. So I don't know. I can't put
right.
one up. Yeah,
Texas Chainsaw was my favorite film, my favorite horror film for the longest time.
right.
It's only the last say 10 years that I kind of swapped it out with Suspiria, but
Yeah,
even now, you've got The Exorcist. It's kind of hard to put, what's the number one,
yeah. You got Pat Master,
Hey,
Subjective Perspective Collective. What's going on, man? Aiden says The Mangler and Salem's Lot are two of my most rewatched Stephen King adaptations. Hell yeah, The Mangler is a trip, man. It really
I've
is.
only seen it once, The Mangler, and that was like when it first came out. So you're
Yeah,
talking like years ago.
that's a
But
pretty good role for Robert Englund, like playing that twisted bastard. Like, there's a film called The Penalty with Lon Chaney, very old film, and the character reminds me of Robert Englund's character. I can't remember his name, but in a lot of ways.
that got shit on when it first came out, The Mangler, because I remember all the
Oh
like
yeah,
people were like saying it was terrible, and because I saw it on TV, I think, and I've never gone back. But I've heard in recent years a lot of people are starting to like warm to it a bit more.
yeah.
I don't want to put you on the spot, Dirk, but what's the latest best film of Toby Hooper, would you say? So I'm trying to think of
One
anything
of the
good
last,
past.
you
Yeah,
say?
yeah.
Uh,
Because you've got Texas Chainsaw 2, and that was 86, I believe.
right.
And I'm trying to
So
think, is there one after? It
a
probably is,
Life
but
Force is, I think, after that, which is I like Life Force. A lot of people don't. Was it Matilda May? Like, man, there's some.
I mean, yeah, everyone's saying I should watch it because of that.
But not just that. I mean, I'm trying to think. I know you didn't like Toolbox Murders. It's not great, but it's
Man, the first Sherry Moon Zombie turns up in after the first like 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's her best role.
I couldn't get through that, to be honest, at one. But going back like a couple of years ago, I think it was, I made myself sit down and watch it all the way.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not good. It's not good.
It's not great, no. But I think I could think of other shit that's worse. You know,
like easily, yeah. I mean, it's a slasher film, and now it does the job, I suppose. But yeah, putting it up against the original Toolbox Murders was a mistake anyway, because
it's nothing
just
like
classic.
Nowhere matches that. No, it might be the Mangler, man. Like I'd have to look and see. I know
maybe that's why he doesn't get talked about so much.
Sure as hell ain't the gin. I can tell you that. That's rough. That's a rough ass.
I've heard that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think
bad.
I've heard Lorne talk about that one, and it's pretty bad, and maybe Dan as well. But yeah, maybe that's why he doesn't get talked about with Carpenter, because their kind of careers, went a lot later. They got better films. Didn't he do Spontaneous Combustion as well? I think.
I haven't seen that one. He did do that one though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, I've heard. I think that was 1990 or something, maybe late 80s.
JB says, "Hey guys, do you have Violent Streets collection from Severin?" Yes.
Oh yes, man. One of the best sets.
We've covered what, 3 from that set?
Yeah, we did 3. We was gonna get back to the final 2, weren't we? But we didn't get round to it.
Yeah, we will. Man. But yeah, that's a great set. Yeah.
And I mean, is he asking because he's thinking about getting it himself? Let us know in the comments. But
it would have been best to get it, yesterday, because it was on sale. You could have got it for, I think, 67.
67, I think. Yeah. I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer for me.
Every film in that set's great. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best box sets, I'd say, to come out in the last couple of years, I would say.
All 5 films in that. Great.
Thomas Milian as well. What a fucking actor, man. He is just so good.
And Merle.
Yeah. Another great actor. Yeah.
Texas said he's talking to somebody. Let's see, everybody talking. Pap said, "I'm making the rounds. I had to say hi, Dirk. Much love. Appreciate it, man." Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up with everybody. I think we're almost caught up. Ultraviolet Hippie asks, "Did anyone get in on Severin's summer sale?" Oh, did I?
Oh man, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit, yeah, I did. But I think it was a good deal. It's probably the best deal Severin's ever fucking had, man. To be honest.
It is like £6 it works out. $7.50, but £6 it works out for me in the UK.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to get the Argento bundle, but I went back the following day and I picked up another 3, and I went back on the next day and picked up another 4. So yeah, crazy, man.
Yeah, don't ask me what I picked up. Shit.
I got some double feature from Jess Franco that I've never heard of, but I was looking through it and it said one of them's like kind of like a giallo, so I just thought, fuck it, £6, might as well.
Right.
I ended up getting Axe as well. And the
the Axe, that's a video nasty. Axe, double feature co-ed. Kidnap co-eds or something.
Yeah, Kidnap co-ed. It's pretty bad, Axe, but I mean, I was looking through
not that bad.
It's got Stephen Thrower, like either a commentary. I think it's a commentary, and I thought, yeah, it's worth £6 just for the commentary. I think.
I kind of dig Axe, man. It's super ultra low budget too, but
it is. I kind of dig it. Yeah.
But it only became a video nasty because of the damn title, Axe. It's so stupid. But
I picked up Faceless, but I didn't get the bloody because you got the 4K, didn't you?
I grabbed the 4K. I've been waiting for a long time though, because it was at 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I didn't realize they had the 4. I think I just jumped on the Blu-ray when I seen it. But I'm good. I'm good with the Blu-ray.
JB says, I got Barrel Ground on Blue for $7.50. Yeah,
that is a bargain, man.
Yeah. I got the 4K in a bundle a couple months back. I haven't checked it out yet, but that's a great deal though for that blue, and that blue is fine, straight. I'm just stupid, I guess. Like gotta let's see. He also says, yeah, I got it. Violent Streets half off. Yeah, hell yeah. I grabbed Danza Macabre. But go ahead.
I was gonna say I paid full price for Violent Streets, and I still happy, like, you know, that I got it.
I got it for $80 at a convention, but that was as cheap as I could, you know, find it at the time. And
you got the other two Danza Macabre sets. You was gonna say, you know?
I got 1 and 2. Yeah, I got 1 and 2. I got 2 yesterday, but I bought 1 from Hamilton for $60, and then I got the second one yesterday for $67. It was half off. So
I tell you what, I did see your kind of like bit of your update earlier on today from last night, and you got the 2 Video Nasty sets. They are fucking great, man.
The definitive guide,
yeah, because they show every single trailer.
Oh yeah, I've seen them.
You've seen them, have you? Yeah, because you got like 10 minutes of someone like introducing them and talking through the film.
I've seen them on streaming, but I wanted to own the physical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got the Grindhouse. I grabbed the Grindhouse trailers too. So
yeah. I got one of them, I think. Like before on DVD, I didn't upgrade.
Ultraviolet Hippie says I missed out on the Argento bundle because my ass wasn't up at midnight. Me too. But that's fine. But I pre-ordered Opera, Argento's Deep Cuts, Michele Suave's Cemetery Man on Blue, and a pendant from the church. Nice. Hell yeah.
You can get pretty much everything in that bundle apart from that one Christina Marshall film.
I wanted that film, and I wanted the autograph. That was pretty much all I wanted from that bundle. You know,
you could have bought the autograph though. I think
it was sold out.
Oh, it sold out, was it? Yep. Like pretty quickly then.
It sold out quick. By the time I got to it, they were gone. Yep.
I'm wondering what that Christina Marshall film is like, because I've heard it's like a thriller. And they could only sell 1,000 of them. So I'm kind of intrigued, but I wouldn't mind actually watching it before I open up, just in case I want to sell it on, because it'll probably fetch some money, man. I think.
Yeah, probably so. But man, do you want to go ahead and get started on the Funhouse?
Yeah, we've been going, man.
Right.
For like over half hour. Like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
But we've only got one film, so it's gonna work.
Yeah, we got one film to cover. We're gonna go. I mean, I'll go ahead and do this now so everybody knows. If you haven't seen the Funhouse, I don't want to know you. I'm just playing. But no, if you haven't seen the Funhouse, like, what the hell are you doing in here? Because yeah, we're gonna get into it, man. So, do you like blood, violence, freaks of nature? Then you'll love the film Rob Zombie used as a blueprint for House of a Thousand Corpses.
Exactly. Yeah.
Richie dares Amy, Buzz, and Liz to spend the night at the local carnival, the Funhouse. As the night moves on, they witness a murder from an abnormal carny, unseen until accidentally they let their presence be known to the Funhouse Barker. Looking to protect his son, Gunther, with murderous intent, he lets them know there's only one way out of the Funhouse. So, anyway.
Yeah, I couldn't say it any better, to be honest. Yeah, this is like so nostalgic for me because, like I said earlier, like does get lumped into like the slasher genre, and it is definitely a slasher film, but it's so much more.
It is, man. It's not full of blood like
No.
my synopsis. I was kind of mocking some Captain Spaulding shit, like but
like you say, he didn't do the full like blood thing with Texas Chainsaw anyway.
no,
But he did do it in, I think it was like Texas Chainsaw 2. He did say he was just gonna go for it
amp
because
it
he
up.
held off for so long, and he
Yeah.
thought, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do it in Texas Chainsaw 2." And I mean, that's a great film anyway. I know people shit on that when it first came out, but yeah, man, where'd you start with this one?
I mean, we
Superb.
can go through the talk about the actors, everybody that's in it, if you want, right quick.
Yeah.
So this is the Funhouse, directed by Tobe Hooper, written by Larry Block. We got Elizabeth Barrage as Amy Harper. So what I understand is she was a method actor. So she was very serious on set. She gives me like Jamie Lee Curtis vibes. Does she you? Like
She's
the
a
way she
strange
talks.
one.
At
Yeah.
certain times she reminds me of Jamie Lee Curtis, like from Halloween in a way.
I think they cast didn't they cast her in New York? Sorry to cut you off, En.
No, I don't know where they cast her at, but I know she and the other films she's been in, she was in Amadeus. That's probably her most notable role.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, as well.
In Amadeus, playing Mozart's wife. In that,
she's never really done it for me. Like, because the first scene, which we'll come on to in a bit, she goes for pretty much naked or topless. But she, like when even as a kid when I was watching it, 12, 13 years of age, like she's never really done it to where I'm thinking she's stunningly attractive.
No, she's not.
But she got this kind of sweet, innocent thing about
Girl
her.
Next Door.
Yeah.
And Tasha, me and I got Tasha to watch this with me, and she liked it. And she when like what you said when she goes topless, like when Tasha saw that, she's like, it looks like a child. I was like, she does got a very baby face though, and I was like, well, I think she was at least 19, right?
Oh God, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, she plays. Obviously, we'll come on to spoil. We've mentioned spoilers and that, but I think as a final girl, she's pretty good because she gets like kind of stronger as she goes.
Her acting ability is solid, for sure.
Yeah. I think it's a good. I think it's a good role for her. But I was surprised she didn't do any more horror films. Really, very surprised.
She was in another film though called Smooth Talk. It was inspired from the Tucson murders. So I guess it was like a based on true events type film. It had It had Laura Dern and Treat Williams was in that one as well.
Oh.
So but that's really all I got on her. Cooper Huckabee, who plays Buzz, he was in Urban Cowboy with let's see. Shit, I didn't write his. He was Marshall in Urban Cowboy. You ever saw that with John Travolta?
No, I've never seen that one.
Okay, it's an old school.
Watching a load of crime TV series as well. I read.
Yeah, he did a lot of TV work. He was in Little House on the Prairie, Dallas, Hawaii Five-0. He was in Eye of the Tiger with Gary Busey.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And his most recent was Tales from the Hood 3. So,
so he's got a bit of a horror like background.
Yeah. I think he's pretty decent actor. Sean Carson, which is another big nostalgia for me, was in Something Wicked This Way Comes.
That's right, yeah.
That film, I actually seen that pretty young as well, man. And I know it's a Disney movie. It came on the Disney Channel and all that shit. And I've seen it at like the neighbor's house. They had the Disney Channel. And I just remember that movie screwing me up. It's got a dark atmosphere to it. But
hasn't that got like a carnival in it as well, I've read? Because I've not seen it.
Something Wicked This Way Comes?
Yeah.
Not that I don't think so. Not a cannibal. It's a traveling carnival though. Oddly enough.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Carnival, not
not
cannibal.
I thought you said cannibal. I was
oh
like,
no,
wait.
sorry, my bad. Yeah,
you good?
Carnival. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's a traveling carnival. They go town to town, and it's pretty dark. Mr. Dark is like the main villain in the film, and it's got Pam Grier in there as a villain too, which is kind of crazy. But I'm trying to remember.
It's one I've never seen, man, and I've heard good things about it.
It's technically a kids' film, but it's a very dark kids' film. Like, yeah. And see, Corey says, let's see, Something Wicked This Way Comes freaked me out as a kid. Yeah, it did.
I've heard that as well. Yeah, I've heard people say that.
Let's see. We got Anthony's Horror More in here. What's going on? The Funhouse.
Hey, what's up, man?
Tobe Hooper doesn't need the blood and gore. He establishes the unsettling atmosphere and visuals to disturb the audience. To disturb his audience. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect explanation, man. Ultraviolet Hippie says, I agree with you, Dirt. The Funhouse itself looks like it could have been used on a Mario Baba set. Yeah, and that's another thing. The Funhouse itself is like a character all its own. It's almost like it's alive, ain't it? Like it's, especially like with the fat lady,
Oh man, some of the imagery, like you said, is just superb. And they actually built that. They built the ride, didn't they? Especially for the film.
Yeah.
And it was a proper ride and everything. You could go through it, and I think they asked Hooper. He said, "Did you ever go on it?" And he said, "No, I just kept away from it." But all the stuff in there, though, like we mentioned earlier, come from some Chicago type thing that Tobe Hooper was like basically collecting all these little weird, pieces of laughing women.
And he still had them.
The laughing woman. And probably worth a lot of money at that time as well. Yeah.
During that commentary, the guy said he still had all that shit at his house. So, like, damn.
Oh God, this is a love letter to all carnival type films. I think he said he was like influenced by a canny film as well, which I got in my notes. I'll mention in a bit.
Right.
But,
let's see. We got Fat Pig the Conqueror in here. What's up, dudes? What's happening, man? We got Wild Wrangler in here too. What's happening, man? The Funhouse.
Hey, Wrangler. Yeah.
He says the Gate 87 creeped me out as a kid. Yeah, that's kind of creepy.
That's another one I've not seen. I've got so many blind spots, basically.
I think you'll like the Gate. Let's see. We got Steve Mayers in here. What's happening, man? Greetings, Dirt, Darren, and Flick Fiends. Okay. Yeah. What's happening, man?
Yeah. Thanks for the support, man.
Yeah. Glad to see everybody in here, man. That's pretty cool. But yeah, man. Something Wicked This Way Comes. That one don't get talked about hardly at all. Like, but that little kid, he's in there, and he played Jimmy Nightshade in the film.
Okay, yeah.
And but yeah, that's a high recommendation, man. Just
because I think sorry, man.
No, you're good.
I was going to say because I think they actually cast him in New York, but because he was so young, they had to set the whole film in Miami. Because they had different laws where children can work after a certain time, and
child labor laws.
Yeah.
Right.
But he does kind of remind me of the boy. The first thing I thought when I first seen, when I've been watching it recently, is there's a boy in City of the Living Dead, and he's kind of got that same look as this boy. I know what I was always wondering.
You're talking about
John Joe, is it? Yeah.
The kid at the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does kind of.
He always reminds me of that look, and obviously it was both with it. They were shot within a year of each other. But I always wonder whether Hooper maybe or someone maybe has seen that and kind of got that look, for the boy. Watcher in the Woods, that's another good one. I have seen that one.
Okay.
Wild Wranglers to say.
I haven't seen that one. Watcher in the Woods.
Oh man, that's one of the scariest fucking children films you'll ever see.
Okay. Anthony says, this is a great stream, fellas. The Funhouse doesn't get talked about enough. Yeah, man, I appreciate it,
Absolutely.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Good to see you in here, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
we
Coming on
were
board.
talking about like what we were gonna do, and I was like, man, why don't we talk about the Funhouse? Like, I mean, I know it's one of Darren's favorite slashers, and
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite films too. I mean, it's probably in my top. It's at least in my top 20, I would say. But
I think you like it. Yeah, like not just slashers, just in your top 20 in general. You mean?
yeah. Well, I mean, most all my top picks are going to be horror anyway. Like,
Yeah.
so.
It's probably I probably feel the same, man. It probably would make my top. I'd say it'd make my top 25 maybe of all time.
I'd have to really think about that, but man, this is childhood nostalgia, just like Something Wicked This Way Comes and shit. I'm not trying to go on a tangent on that one, but we got Largo Woodruff in here. She played Amy in the film. Completely night and day from Elizabeth. Is that Barrage?
Yeah. Wasn't she in
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers? I got written down as well. Can't
Yeah,
remember her in that, but
yeah, I didn't write that down. I saw she had like a little small role in that one, but she was in a scene with Woody Allen in a comedy drama called Stardust Memories. She's in one scene where she's in bed with Woody Allen.
Oh God, man.
She's a UFO follower in 1980, so that was a year before this one. But
okay, yeah.
She was in like an ABC after school special, The Choice. They said it was like a very controversial TV movie. I have no idea why, but whatever. She did a lot of TV work.
It's like she plays the slutty girl as well, whereas you got Elizabeth Barrett plays like the virgin, because I think it's even mentioned that she's a virgin.
Yeah.
But yeah, Largo Woodruff, she's kind of got on my nerves a little bit during the film, because he's kind of just this brass type, character. And I
But you
always
could tell
really cool.
Yeah, you could tell she's not like that in real life though. Like I watched the interview with her, and
okay, yeah,
and like she wouldn't do the nude scene, right?
Right.
So,
Which, yeah, you would have thought they would have done her instead of Elizabeth Barry's, but which is kind of weird. But
yeah, she refused to do the nude scene or whatever. But whatever. You got the guy that plays Richie, Miles Chapin. He was in Howard the Duck and Duck Coach. I'm not really sure. I guess that was another Howard the Duck spinoff or some weird shit. He played a guy named Carter. The People versus Larry Flint. He was in that. Have you ever seen that one?
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
With Woody Harrelson. He was
Miles. Yeah, years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not trying to bore everybody with the cast, man, but
he was in Pandemonium as well, like the Alpha Soul, kind of like it's kind of a slasher, it's kind of a spoof. But he's one of the standouts, I think, because he plays this goofy character who's always like kind of joking, and I think he's probably one of the better the best characters in the film.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Cooper Huckabee, who plays Buzz, he's like 35 years of age or something. He looks like really old.
Yeah, he looks older than I think Richie does too, though. Kind of, if you think about it.
I didn't get that from Richie, but definitely Cooper Huckabee was 15 years older, I think, than Elizabeth Barrett. But you got to come on to Kevin Conway, man. We got to talk about him as well.
Yeah, Kevin Conway is probably the best actor in the whole film. I gotta admit.
Yeah.
Because he plays 3 different characters, plays 3 different Barkers. They're all family, right?
They're supposed to be triplets, the 3 of them. That was kind of what. Yeah.
But it's odd because you got the one that he's like he's running a strip tent.
Yeah.
And he's like got the British accent, right?
Yeah, it's weird. Like Tobe Hooper says in one of his interviews, they were literally triplets, which is kind of don't make sense in a way. But Yeah, because you've got the one he's doing the strippers, you've got the other one who's doing all like the deformed animals and all the freak shows, and then you've obviously got our main guy who's doing the Funhouse as well.
You got the Funhouse Barker, right? Like the Conrad Straker. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was kind of confused on that. Conrad Straker. I didn't understand that, but because the other one's called the Strip Show Barker, the Freak Show Barker, you know.
Yeah. Then they kind of asked him to do this film, and he said he'd only do it if he could play all three of the Barkers to give it like that kind of incest feel to the whole film.
Right.
And I think he starred in a Dice Alone film a couple of years earlier, which Tobe Hooper had seen, and he thought, I need to get that guy, you know. And like Dirk said, he is the best. He is by far the best thing in the film, apart from maybe the monster itself, the Wayne Tobe who plays the monster.
Yeah, because he was a mime, but we'll come into him in a minute. But I know Kevin Conway, that's what Hooper had said, that he saw that film with Sylvester Stallone, Fist, from 1972, right? And
right,
that was the film that he saw him in, and he wanted it. Or no, that was from 1978. My bad. But
no, it was called Paradise Alley, I think it was, or Paradise. I've got it in the notes.
No, the Stallone film.
Yeah, Stallone directed it. He was in, I think it was 1978.
I got Fist down here. Fist. It might be the same film, just a different name.
It could be. I know it's called Paradise something. I have got it in my notes.
Because he was Vince in that movie. The Stallone film. His character's name was Vince or whatever. And then he was in another film called Slaughterhouse, which I thought was a horror movie. And I didn't realize it was like some kind of comedy fucking movie. I was like, well, shit, he's been in other horror movies. And I read a little deeper on it, and I was like, that's a damn comedy. What the hell? Like,
not to be confused with Buddy Bacon, and that Slaughterhouse is not that
right.
One.
That's 72. Another film called Flashpoint he was in. It's like a neo-Western action film in 84. It had he had a Chris Christopherson, Treat Williams, and I do recognize him from Funny Farm, the Chevy Chase film.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
Okay, it's he was the Crumb Petrie or whatever. He's like a real nasty bastard. Like the whole town's fucking nasty as shit. He plays that role very well. Like, you know what I mean? The shady, clandish kind of, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I can imagine the way.
Kind of just like in this film. Like they're all very tight knit group, but they're all shady. Let's see. Yep. Oh, okay. Texas is saying. Let's see what he says here. I don't want to skip nobody. Wild Ranger says The Watcher in the Woods, 1980, creepy.
It's one of the scariest kids' films you'll ever see.
Something wicked, creepy, and good.
Yeah.
Texas says Miles Chapman was in a great movie with Deborah Winger called French Postcards. Okay.
Oh,
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Holland says, I've never seen the Funhouse. Oh shit!
Oh man!
Okay. Damn! I'm surprised, Holland. Holland's seen everything.
Hopefully, we can get you to, to watch it basically.
And Texas says Fist and Paradise Alley are two separate films. Okay.
I know Paradise Alley was Stallone directed it, and I know he was in it. So I think that's the film Hooper was on about. I'm not sure if he was in. Maybe he was in Fist as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was in Fist as Vince.
Was Stallone in it though?
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So maybe maybe it was that one then. I always thought it was Paradise Alley, but
they're both 78. That's what's weird. That's what was tripping me up. But I didn't see that on the other film.
I think it came up. Funny enough,
I know Fist. I've seen Fist. I've never seen Paradise Alley.
Well, I think it was Paradise Alley because it comes up on the extras in the Arrow Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, but I can see why it could be the other one as well if they were both in it.
Okay. Ultraviolet Hippie says, in my opinion, the Funhouse is essential viewing for any fan of 80s horror and or slasher film. Definitely.
Yeah, I'd say even the old like Universal films as well. You can kind of you'll get something out of this as well, just with the characters alone.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe I don't know on that, but whatever. he was in that one too, though. So I don't know.
Yeah, may have seen them both. You don't know, yeah.
Right. And then we got Wayne Daba, the mime character that plays the creature that plays Gunther.
Yeah.
Great job, phenomenal job. Because he's got to physically act, right? He can't talk and shit.
Man, it's an incredible performance. If you think about it, it's like no acting, like now hasn't come from an acting background or anything.
Yeah.
The way, and it's a lot like Leatherface. The
it
way
is.
he's got to literally just act. He can't talk. I think he says one line I mentioned earlier, and I think he says father. And he says, "Don't call me father," and all that.
He says, "I can't stand your stinking voice" or something. I can't remember what he says.
That's right.
Something like that.
And we'll come into that because you do get kind of, I don't know about you, but I kind of felt sorry. I know he's pretty much a killer at the end of the day, but I do feel sorry for the character because...
And I was confused on who his mother was. I'm still in.
Right, we'll have to come into that and we'll talk through it as we go. But I
think I know, but I've seen this film a lot. I've seen this movie probably 10 times at least. And I still... I'm tripped up on that shit because it's kind of like hinted at about something.
It is, yeah.
It don't really make it clear, you know what I mean?
But, no, the same with in the jar as well. His brother's literally in the jar.
Tad.
Yeah. And it's got because there's a scene early on where I know we're going to come through the film, but there's a scene early on with the two-headed cow, and that's kind of like a forefront to what the look of the killer is going to be, which we'll come on to. I think everyone's seen the look of the killer by now anyway. Yeah. Well, it was on the front fucking cover of Fangle, for fuck's sake. Like, that's what... Right.
All right.
That's got to be one of the best looks of a killer, I think, isn't it?
It is, man.
It's one of the best.
And it is so great because he's wearing a Frankenstein mask with Frankenstein gloves.
Yeah.
And then he pulls that shit off, and then he's like, "Here's the real deal." Like,
Oh man, it's superb. But you just got like the last couple we're going to mention in the cast, which you can't really ignore, is William Finley. And people know him from the De Palma films.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I want to mention one more thing about Wayne Daba right quick. The guy
go for it, man.
The guy that plays Gunther. He was also he was in Scarface.
Okay.
He was the clown in the nightclub. He gets gunned down in the nightclub.
And, that kind of makes sense if he plays a clown.
He was dressed like in this big clown thing in Scarface, which I know everybody's seen Scarface except Darren. But
unfortunately or fortunately, depending on where you come from. But no, that completely makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, man, sorry. That's pretty much the only thing that he was mostly known for heavy makeup, like playing these roles just like this. So, but big time theater actor too, I believe.
Outstanding job in this film.
He's awesome.
Him and the Barker, and it like usually with these films as well, one of the kids would be like a standout, but I don't think so with this one. I think all four kids do a great job, mine. Don't get me wrong, but this is the Barker's film, I think, and the monster,
definitely.
But then again, you got Sylvia Miles as well, who's superb. I know she's not on screen long.
She's not on long, but she has a very prominent role, a very important role. And she is a damn force, man. Like, she is a trip. That woman's a trip.
She was kind of like that in real life as well, apparently.
Yeah.
And she went on to live till she was 95. And I think Tobe Hooper, like during the early 2000s, he would always bump into her in New York whenever he was in New York.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like a staple in New York City, right? Like she was everywhere. Everybody knew her that's in the business and shit. But you notice how her accent changes though? Like when she says something about you come back, I'll break every fucking bone in your fucking body or some shit.
Yeah, it's hard to like keep that accent going.
Yeah.
But no, she's another standout as well, actually, if you think about it, even though she's not in here for long, she completely nails the her character.
She was nominated for an Academy Award in for Midnight Cowboy. 1960, is that 69? I forgot to write that year down.
Someone said as well, I was looking, and like that role she plays in Midnight Cowboy is just like as off the wall as this one, apparently.
Yeah, she's a prostitute in that one, I think.
Oh God, that's what it is then, yeah.
But I'm not real sure. I know there's a sex scene with her and John Voight, though.
Yeah. Because she says to Hooper, didn't she? She says, I think that may have just ruined my whole, acting career when she does
she's wiping her hands off.
Yeah, the masturbation scene.
Yeah.
And then apparently Hooper come back and said, well, no, you've done that Midnight film as well, which is just as bad.
Right.
So yeah, it was kind of funny.
She's in an exploitation slasher though called Violent Midnight.
Yeah, that's an early proto slasher film.
1963. Yeah.
Yeah. Black and white, apparently a very good film. I am aware of it. I do own a copy of it as well.
I'm interested. I want to check it out. I gotta check it out now.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to do if we do a proto slasher stream or something. We could put that in.
Oh yeah.
It's fairly easy to get online as well.
And then she was in another film called The Sentinel.
Which I really need to see that as well.
I do too, man. I've heard so much about it.
Everyone talks about that. Yeah, right. Everyone says how good that film is.
But she was Gertie in that one. But yeah, man, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I don't. If I overtalk you a few times as well, man.
Yeah, with Bill Finley though, you was talking about him, so I'll let
you. Yeah, so he plays Marco the Magnificent. Like he's like pretty much just does this like trick on screen, which I like about his character as well, because they kind of like implied that they're going to bring someone out to the audience who's like new and fresh and no one knows her, but then it ends up being his daughter, but that gives you a sense of what this carnival is like. These people are all fucking into bread. They're all like one big family. And even the Silver Miles character, which we'll mention in a bit as well, when fucking Gunther ends up killing her, the father turns around and he says, well, I don't mind you killing someone outside, but you killed one of our fucking family, basically.
Yeah.
And then, but it does give you this sense of incest and all that going on. And he does it superbly well without, it's decent as well, the decency level in it as well. He doesn't go like
it's not heavy-handed. It's it's real subtle about it.
Yeah, he doesn't do what fucking Rob Zombie does and just go all like fucking swearing and this and that. It's subtle, but it's there. That's what I love about this film, you know. But yeah, we've got to come into we'll go through the film, obviously. The whole music, how do you feel about the score and the music to this film? Because the guy who did the music is a guy called John Beale, and he did the music for Stephen King's It, a slasher film called Killer Party from 1986, and Terror in the Isles, which is kind of like this trailer kind of show thing from 84, I think it is.
Yeah.
He nails the score in this film.
I think so too, man.
So like a carnival music that you would get for that time.
He said that he mentioned, I watched the thing with him, a little interview with him. He was talking about that there was some I think it was I don't want to say the wrong school. I don't want nobody to correct me, But basically some college kids said that they were studying his music and shit in school.
Okay, yeah.
Like, so he's. I mean, it's a solid score, man. It really is. He does a great job.
You get it in the opening credits as well. There's just this theme music, carnival music.
Right.
And we get all the old props we see as well, don't we? All the animatronics, which are just
goes well with it. Like when the Funhouse and the Carnival shutting down for the night, and all the shit just like it's so creepy.
Yeah.
Like to explain, it kind of gives me, this would be a great double feature, man. I know it's kind of like not a Carnival film, but in the same vein with all the weird little shit in the background. You got the weird little Humpty Dumpty and all that shit, and the piano player and all that. Puts me in the same vein as like Tourist Trap. It'd be a good double feature.
It fucking does, man. Yeah, now you said that, it really does. It's got, and funny enough, Tourist Trap is kind of a riff on Texas Chainsaw in a way as well, with the look, of the main. So there's kind of got that going for it as well. But I knew there was something it reminded me of, and now you mentioned that, it's definitely Tourist Trap. Yeah. It's got that same feel. It's just got the weirdness to all these animatronics and people coming to life. These animatronics coming to life, like you said, and then being switched down and coming back on and everything. Wait, the film, man.
The scene where you see it's like a pirate or something. Did you? About that one?
No, go on.
So there was a pirate animatronic. And it fucked up on the set. It wouldn't work right?
Okay.
And it's doing like this thing with the knife and shit, and like Buzz is like pretty close to it. That's Wayne Daba playing that animatronic, doing it.
Oh shit!
You can't even tell.
I didn't know that, man.
You can't tell at all that's him doing that shit with the fucking thing, and it's like doing that crazy shit with the knife, like
because it does. Yeah, you would think it was just an animatronic. It's done that well.
But he said he played that shit. He had to dress up like it because the damn thing wouldn't work. So,
man, that's an.
I thought that was pretty damn killer, man. I was like, that's some skills right there, man. Because I couldn't tell that's a man. You know what I mean?
No, me. Like when you mentioned it, then I didn't know you were going to come up with that story. Then,
yeah.
Well, that just adds to what Wayne Dober did to this film, then, really, because he's just, outstanding, man.
Wild Wrangler says, Dirk and Darren, thoughts on the Funhouse 4K? Oh man, I think it's a great job, man. I'm not a big fan of what Scream Factory's been doing, but you can't deny like the transfer is solid as hell, man. It's really solid.
I can't comment because I haven't got it, but I've got the Arrow, the old Arrow edition Blu-ray,
right?
And I have got the Funhouse Scream Factory, but I got the DVDs before I went region 3, basically. But no, I'm interested. I want to get that 4K because this is obviously one of my favorite films.
I think it's pretty. I think you can get it a decent price, like next Scream Factory sale or whatever.
They didn't put no different extras on it though, did they? I think it's just basically the same as what this is.
I don't know. I don't have that edition.
As far as I know, yeah. That's what Scream Factory don't do, basically.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Oh man.
So.
And that's come out fairly recently, hasn't it? Like a year, maybe.
Like a year ago, I think, maybe 2.
Yeah.
A year and a half.
That's the cover art I love.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great release, man. It really is. You can't go wrong with this 4K. But let's see. Ultraviolet Hippie says, in my opinion, Gunther is one of horror's greatest unsung movie monsters of all time. He's totally underrated. Yeah, I completely agree, man.
Like everyone mentions, the miner in My Bloody Valentine. You've got Michael Myers, obviously.
He's underrated too, though.
Yeah. I saw. Yeah, I guess.
Harry Warden.
Yeah. This guy though,
Yeah, he's highly underrated. Yeah. You
no
never
one,
hear.
no one ever mentions him.
Yeah. You never hear
it's
about
weird.
Gunther, man. Yeah.
It's weird, man. But yeah.
Let's see. Wild says, ladies give him a kiss. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh god, yeah, with the drool hanging down and
Yeah. KY jelly hanging out his mouth.
oh man.
But see, you got what he says. P.T. Barnum said, "Sucker is born every minute." P.T. Barnum created the Fiji mermaid. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ultraviolet says, "I agree. I think that the score is very fitting." Yeah, it's perfect, man. It's perfect. Perfect score for this film. Really is.
I think, like Dirk said, with the Funhouse is actually a character in the film, but the score is as well. Because I don't think this film would work as well if it didn't have this score.
It does. It blends perfectly. The score blends with all the back little animatronic characters and it's so weird though. Like it's got that weird vibe. Like there's almost like something supernatural in a way. It's very subtle though. It's not like it never leads you to believe this is a supernatural thing, but you know what I mean? Like just why would the fat lady move when the little kid's standing there staring at her? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
She's already been turned off for a while, you know. So
that's what I love about it, because it's because it's not in your face, is it? Really, it's just creepy, just all the way.
Wild says, "Love Tourist Trap, 45 years this year." Hell yeah, yeah, damn.
That's another underrated film.
Now I feel old, man. You said that shit. It's like,
I probably said it before, but the opening to that with the guy in the garage, and like you guess like almost like a poltergeist activity where all those things go flying through the air, and that really fucking creeped me out. And that's a PG film as well.
It is.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that's a PG.
No, it's one of the scariest fucking PGs. Just that scene alone,
right?
It sticks with you. Yeah.
That shit.
Yep. Can you imagine watching that as a fucking PG back in the day?
I mean, I've seen it very young too, man. Tourist Trap.
Oh man. Yeah.
I think I've seen it on USA way back in the day.
I think I come later to that one. I think it was like 2000s till I got to see that. Yeah.
Tanya Roberts, man, right? Man, that's
yeah.
She was childhood crush for me.
And you've got that scene. Don't want to go off on a tangent too much, but you've got that scene where he puts all that stuff on that one victim's face, and she can't breathe, and he says, "You're gonna fucking die of a heart attack," and all that. Man, that's
and the way his voice is.
Yeah.
Anthony says, "I love that Tobe actually created a real carnival. It's so damn creepy and dirty looking. All the carnies are fucking nasty." Yeah, they are, man. They really are.
He basically said that's what kind of why he wanted to do the project, because he wanted to have his own use of this carnival. And all the extras as well were real carnival, people.
Yeah.
I think the strippers maybe they got from a strip joint or whatever, but all the rest were like carnival. All the extras were carnival people. And again, you've got to think that's why this film works as well.
And those strippers were nasty too, wasn't they? He probably.
Oh God, yeah.
He probably picked the nastiest ones, like.
Oh man, and there's that line. There's that line as well when he goes to, because he got that $100 fucking bill. And like his dad said, I could have got you one of those fucking strippers for $15 if you knew how.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And the humor as well is dark, but it's there,
You're gonna give fucking Madam Zena $100? What the fuck's wrong with you?
It's so funny, man. But it's not meant to be funny. It's obviously not a comedy in any way, shape, or form. But some of the stuff
there's moments. So that's Hooper though. That's his dark comedy. I mean,
it is.
The first PCM is supposed to be a dark comedy. From if you listen to Hooper tell the story. So
I can see that as well. Yeah, I can totally see that. Yeah.
Anthony says, totally agree with you about this being a great double with Tourist Trap, another one of my favorite slasher films. Yeah.
But that would be a good night. imagine going back and seeing them in the fucking theater together. That would be.
No
They
shit.
come out within a couple of years of each other. So yeah.
Wild says Tanya Meow. Hell yeah.
She was in that film. She was really hot.
Yeah. Beastmaster too. That's where I first seen her. Beastmaster. But
yeah, I've seen bits of it and that. But yeah. So we're only just coming on to the opening of the film, and we're like an hour 15 in, which is
man.
I mean, it's all good. It's all like
right.
good conversation in it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you want me to mention because we gotta mention the opening scene? It's basically, it's probably been talked about a lot, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but it's definitely a homage to Halloween. There's Psycho, obviously.
Oh yeah.
There's even Freaks, and kind of what I find interesting as well, where you've got this little boy in his bedroom is basically covered in like monsters and all that. And I think that was maybe a little nod to Salem's Lot, the main boy in Salem's Lot, and you got the whole Tom Savini thing.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, he would have been like Friday the 13th would have come out a year before this. So there's all those little nods, and I love it. I think it's like the way the little boy goes into the shower, and I think everyone's seen it, and he's got the knife with the sister. But yeah, it's done really well.
That was definitely a nod to Carpenter, though.
Oh God, absolutely, yeah.
Hooper even admitted it. He said that was definitely a nod to.
It's probably more of a nod to Carpenter than it is Psycho.
Yeah,
and even the you've got all the Frankenstein masks. You've got the whole Universal thing you can't get away from. No, I think because that kind of gives you a little bit of humor early on as well, because it's not supposed to be funny, I guess, but the way it's played out, and she realizes it's her brother and that. And I think he just kind of done that early on to get it out the way. His
and
it's kind of
the same message in a way, though, too, right? Like with the monster,
Yeah.
Because everybody's terrified of Frankenstein's monster, and
right, yeah.
But anyway, I'm not going to go too much because we're trying to go through the film, I guess.
No, man, go as long as you want, man. It's all good.
Right.
But you've got the whole kind of dysfunctional family as well. Like her parents don't seem to give a shit about the two of them.
Her dad does, kind of, in a way.
Does he though? Because
he's like, he don't want her to go that carnival,
Right, but he doesn't go too he's not too overboard about it or too strict about it, because when she rings him up later, he's kind of.
But she respects him.
I think he's more interested in watching fucking because obviously in that scene you got another little nod to Bride of Frankenstein is playing in the background, which I fucking love. I think it's a great nod. But they kind of seem more interested in watching the TV show than they are their own kids, and I think
the mother's a drunk ass. She don't give a fuck.
She's supposed to be an alcoholic.
Yeah, she don't care at all.
No, there's a scene with her when they go to pick the boy up later in the carnival.
Yeah.
And she's very sarcastic, and there's a really. Did you notice that guy's really creepy as well? Who got the boy?
Yeah, he's all like, I cleaned him up. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and the way it's not really touched upon, but he's again, I think it's one of the fact that all these fucking carnival workers are just all fucking. Every single one of them have got anomalies, and they're fucking. Do you know what I mean? If they're not, if they're okay physically, they're not right in the fucking head. And that's, again, I know we said it, but that's what makes this film work.
And what about the guy with the fucking shotgun? What about that?
Yeah. You've got some really strange characters, haven't you? You've got the bag lady as well, and she's always preaching out like God. God is watching you. God is watching you.
God is watching you. He hears everything.
He's like a crazy character, maybe. They tried to heard him come out a year before, so I would imagine it's kind of a little bit of that as well.
Right.
But yeah, like you say, they don't give a shit. So she's picked up by her boyfriend, and she and her boyfriend's kind of, I don't know about you, but it's kind of like I thought he was kind of a douchebag early on. Like, he just doesn't seem to like care about anyone else apart from himself, because she doesn't want to go to the carnival, obviously. And her father basically says, you know, you don't really want to be.
Yeah, I think she don't want to go to the carnival because I think he kind of scared her with that shit. She started thinking about it, kind of deal.
Right? Doesn't he say something to do with like two young girls were killed? Yeah, were killed. Like,
and that gets mentioned later.
Yeah.
The two Girl Scout, right?
That's right. Yeah.
They get mentioned later in the film, but so she was
kind of
probably
dark
thinking
when I
about
think
that
about
shit,
it.
you know, like let's not go to the carnival or fucking, you know, let's go see the movie. And Buzz is like, oh, don't be such a lame bitch, you know, like he don't say that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think it's hinted at early on as well that she's basically going to get like to lose her virginity that night. You know, she pretty much knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
No, I find him quite a bit of a dickhead character, to be honest. But I love all of them in all different ways, though, because you've got the Miles Chaplin character as well. He's just this goofy character. They pick their friends up, I should say. You know, you've got the slutty girl. They're all smoking pot in the car as you do, like.
She's not. She's not. You notice she's getting skipped at first.
Yeah. So you think, you know, it's kind of planned out who your final girl's gonna be, but yeah, it's kind of done in a different way though, because when we come back on to it later, she is the final girl, but it's kind of an accident how it all ends up.
Yo, CK in here. What's going on?
Oh,
man?
Hey CK, what's up, man?
Oh yeah, just talking some Funhouse, man.
Yeah, talking some creepy fucking carnival and fucking mutant fucking shit. But no, yeah. So that's basically the premise that starts it all going. You know, they go to this carnival. But yeah,
CK says, "Love the Funhouse. Actually, finally bit on that soundtrack from Waxwork Records."
Oh nice. Shit, man! I'd love to get that.
I bet that's because that score it's badass, man. That'd be a good one to get for sure.
Oh man, it sets the whole film up. We've just mentioned it before CK come in. It really does. It sets the whole tone of the film.
Right.
But yeah, so you know, you've got basically the mother does have a go as well, doesn't she? Because she says about Buzz being is he like some filling attendant? He works in some filling station or something.
Yeah.
Says you don't want to really be going with the likes of him or.
Yeah, she's kind of highbrow on the shit, you know?
Yeah. And I didn't get that because I thought, you know, at least he's working, he's got a job and, you know.
And she's bitching that he's late.
You know, they don't seem up. Yeah. Well, he was late, I'll give her that.
Yeah.
And you've got the little kid, like he just climbs down and he overhears them talking and, you know, while they're watching the film.
Yeah, he's kind of a creepy little bastard too, ain't he?
Yeah, you get one of these little fuckers in every kind of slasher film. You got I think there's one in The Boogeyman, you know, that little kid who goes fucking creeping up on his sister as well, the same actually. But he gets his comeuppance when the window comes down. But yeah, I think he does a good job, Sean Carson, in this. For such a young actor, he doesn't come across like, you know, like he's never acted before. You could see
he's great. I mean, especially a child actor, man. Like, you ought to see him in, like, I know I keep going back to Something Wicked This Way Comes. He does a great job, too, in that one. So
I'll definitely watch that now. Yeah, because since I've seen the extras to this as well, it was mentioned a lot. But yeah, so they get to the carnival. They try out all these rides. And we find out that Amy, like you say, is a virgin. And she's talking to Liz in the toilets. And that's where we first see the bag lady. But the God is watching you and all that, and that's creepy shit as well.
Yeah,
because the way she just runs and shuffles along,
right?
Like
God is watching you. He hears everything.
Shit, sorry.
Kind of like fucking.
I need to quit with that shit.
Wicked, like the vibes of like the Wicked Witch and fucking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But she's
maybe
almost like
a little bit of that.
She's looking at him like you know, she's looking down on them because they're normal. Like there's something wrong with her too, right? I don't know, man.
Right? Yeah. Oh god, yeah, absolutely.
That was so because she scares a little kid at one point, you know.
Yeah. Everyone in this fucking film, like everyone's creepy. We're gonna come on to that scene now as well, where so Joey, like, he's trying to make his way to the carnival, and that fucking guy goes to pick him up.
Yeah, he's like, man, "Hey, you want to live?"
Yeah.
You're like, "What the fuck?" Like, yeah.
And then he just pulls out a fucking shotgun, doesn't he, on him?
He just starts pointing at him, like, "What the hell?" Yeah.
And he's fucking laughing. You can see his teeth are all fucking black. And
I swear, the way he's laughing reminds me of the big guy in House of a Thousand Corpses. Like,
yeah.
You know, at the very beginning of House.
Yeah.
He had to have got that from that.
Oh, like, man, this was a massive. It's like, I don't even know. He's probably even mentioned it, Rob Zombie, but there's no. You can just tell.
There's no denying. Yeah.
House of a Thousand Corpses is a love letter to this film, you know, and a few others as well.
Right.
But yeah. So you've got the backer then when we get to the carnival. So you've got the backer who plays 3 different characters.
Yeah.
Which you mentioned, you know. You've got the freak show. You've obviously got, you know, the strippers and all that. But when we see the freak show, you see the 2-headed calf. I think it's a cow or and then there's one of them with like a cleft palate. I think it is a cow.
Yeah.
And he mentions one with 6 legs, which we don't get to see.
Yeah, sheep. And like some sheep with 6 legs and shit.
Yeah. But the 2-headed cow obviously is foreshadowing the killer.
And that's a real cow.
Film.
That's real.
It is, yeah. But I didn't think that because at first, like, when I saw that, it looks like the cow's trying to get some kind of appliance off his face.
Yeah.
But then listening to the commentary, yeah, he does mention it. Like Cooper mentions that was a real cow. Both of them actually, both cows in it. But yeah, it does kind of foreshadow what's to come. And then we see the mutation of the baby in the jar, which is just as fucking frightening to me. And that was a special effect as well, because it does look real.
So I'm confused though. Who worked more on this, Rick Baker or Rob? Because they were both on it. Rick Baker and Rob Bottin.
So yeah. So Rick Baker did the main effects of the killer, so the monster. But I think Rob Bottin was basically his assistant, but he did all the smaller stuff. So he did do that baby in the jar.
Okay.
But I think he was just learning the ropes, you know, at that time, because this would have been the same year as American Werewolf in London and The Howling.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's a story where Rick Baker told Rob Bottin to do The Howling and he was going to do American Werewolf in London. But they worked a lot together. I think he basically learned everything off Rick Baker, who learned everything off Dick Smith. Yeah. So yeah, there's that as well. But yeah, I think, you know, they obviously went on to bigger things, you know, when you think about it. But yeah, I've always found that image, the mutation of the baby, really creepy. And then they give it the backstory of it. It is actually the monster's brother, which kind of like Tad. Man, that's like
like a tadpole, right? Or some shit. I don't know. It's fucking weird.
But
so who's the mother?
The fucking... Well, it's hinted a bit later on with the mother, innit? I think they only say like one line or something. Like
the Barker.
Yeah.
Funhouse Barker. He mentions it, but it's very ambiguous though. Like he says, I don't want that for you and your mother or some shit, or for like your little brother and your mother and your little brother on display. So then it makes you think, is it the fucking cow? Is his fucking mother?
That's what maybe what I originally thought. Is there fucking bestiality involved?
Yeah, right.
And I think it's hinted like that. Yeah.
But that's it. That's all you get. You don't. It never clearly 100% says, but.
But it makes sense though that he would be fucking the cow basically, because that's the way these carnies were in this film. Like they're all. But I mean, they're all inbred. You can see that.
Yeah.
Even the one who's doing the stripper tank, even he's like, it's mentioned that it's his sister who's one of the strippers.
Yeah, he's talking about how hot she is.
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
You know?
It's completely fucked up, man, when you think about it, but it works on every level when it comes, like,
Yeah.
I think they're all like, they're put in there all kind of subtly or whatever, but they all add up to this thing that this great pot of like everything's fucking, you know, inbred and all that is just done so well. I can't think of another film where they kind of use, because we have got a few films. I think they were going to do like a remake to this, Eli Roth, and at the time of the commentary, you listened to the commentary,
yeah,
and like Toby Hooper said, that is definitely going to go ahead and be done, but it obviously fell through. I don't know why.
I must have missed that part. I didn't hear that, but
yeah, it may have been in the interview then that off the Arrow. But because I kind of like done notes on the two of them together.
right.
But there's one called Dark Ride. There's a slasher called Dark Ride that came out in the 2010s, I think it is. I think that's kind of like hinted at being a remake to this, which is pretty good. But I can't think of another film apart from Freaks that really utilizes. Yeah, that's the only one I can think of that utilizes all the kind of canny. There's probably more, you know, but Freaks is another big influence.
You could say Basket Case 2.
Yeah. I can see that as well.
Similar, not exactly, but you know.
Yeah. But
Freaks
is a massive influence in it.
Oh
along with Frankenstein, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you've got all the kind of fucked up thing with the Barkers, but what I love, like with the whole Barker, basically his father now is the one who does the Funhouse, and when he's introducing it, I think it was all ad lib on it, Dirk. I think basically Kevin Conroy done a lot of ad libbing, with his own lines,
with the interaction with Gunther, with the shit. But did you notice, like, because I didn't catch it until this time we're like doing this, review on this. I mean, this, we're covering the film. I didn't notice it until this time, where he's basically hiding Gunther out. And he's hiding him out because, I mean, we know that. I'm saying he's hiding him out, though, for his retirement.
Yeah.
Did you catch that shit? Like, he's gonna.
Yeah, because it's mentioned, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna, like, that's gonna be like the last attraction when he's old and shit, like. So he was just gonna put him on display too. He's just using him.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. He says a line, doesn't he? The actual father says a line, something along the lines of, when everything's, when I'm old and everything's done, he's going to be the kind of the one that's going to look after me or something.
Yeah.
But it's fucked up, man. Like the whole.
That's why I was saying you feel bad for Gunther because he's just being used the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
And it's
the dynamics among the dynamics amongst the two of them is completely fucked up. Where they kind of got this love-hate relationship.
Yeah, because he makes them think that he actually gives a shit about him,
Yeah.
And he probably does in a sick, twisted way, but he's really thinking about his own riches in the end, I guess.
Yeah, when he's going to retire and maybe have someone to look after him and all that. But I bet there's other little things with this film as well that we like that's never really mentioned as well. Little backstories with what's happening with the carnies and all that. Because we even see a dwarf carny, don't we? And he's kissing like a normal sized woman or a tall woman.
Yeah,
and he's touched upon.
Yeah, it's like it's like the hatch is open on the back of the car or whatever he's standing on, and they're just all like, "What the fuck?" When is it the kid that runs by?
The kid, I think, runs by. Towards. I think that's a play on Freaks because like one of the dwarfs in Freaks is going out with this normal sized woman, I think, or something like that. It's certainly got a little bit of a play on that. But yeah, you've got Marco the Magnificent, played by William Finley, which we mentioned a little bit earlier.
That dude is a nut, man. Like in every damn role. Like
Family
of the Paradise, Sisters, Eaten Alive. Holy shit. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
probably his best role, Eaten Alive.
Fucking,
Yeah.
like, it's so weird, him and Marilyn Burns, the way they interact in that fucking movie. She's like screaming at him and shit. I ain't trying to go on a tangent on Eaten Alive, but I love that.
No, man, go for it, man.
I love that damn movie, man. I do.
I used to see Eaten Alive as more of a Texas Chainsaw like sequel than the actual sequel, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's another one that's underrated. I think Hooper don't get his credit for Eaten Alive because that's sparked off, like you say, it sparked off a few films of recent years as well.
Judd? It's Judd, right?
Yeah.
Judd. Yeah.
Fucking Robert Englund in that as well, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, I'm Buck.
And I'm ready. Yeah. But no, Finley's great. He does this like kind of just this one routine as where he's this magician. And he gets this girl up, and it's great. You know, you got this stake through the heart. And then we all find out it's obviously a trick anyway, which we knew, but it's Camilla, his daughter, which is kind of like everyone's keeping it in the family kind of thing.
Yeah, it's all a family affair, man. Another
crazy,
one, Bill Finley, we just covered not long ago, right? The Silent Rage. He's in that one.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. But yeah, you know, the kids then, you know, as the light wears on, they kind of all start smoking a joint. So, you know, it's hinted as well later on when they get to the Funhouse that like Elizabeth Berridge's character loses her virginity. So as the film goes on, the more she kind of gets out of her virginity character type thing, and she kind of gets a bit more daring. But yeah, we got to mention the scene with Madame Zena. This is the standout fucking scene for me. I think sets the whole film up.
Yeah.
So, but we see her. Yeah, we see her early on, and I mean, just as a fortune teller, where you know the kids they all go and you know Elizabeth Berridge's character has her fortune told, and they're all high and they're on drugs and they're all fucking laughing in the background. And she loses it. Like I think you mentioned it earlier, she just fucking loses it. Then she tells him to like go, and she starts swearing and
she's like, and you notice when her little crystal ball hits the floor though.
Yeah, that was creepy, man.
How it comes back to her, like she's got some kind of, like she's got some kind of magic, right? Like so, you know, that's kind of like what I get the vibe, because especially the part when she's getting killed, she says, "I'll curse your whole fucking lot."
Yeah. That's a supernatural element for sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, and that's like, a creepy scene.
And all the shit's coming alive and shit. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's fucking weird. But
man, like you say, like she got two scenes in it, and she's a standout in both scenes. But yeah. So with all that going on, so you've got that. She basically says she'll break every bone in their fucking bodies, and she just completely fucking loses it. But then they get kind of in, like, they want to find out, because they see the strippers, don't they? And they want to go round the back and kind of see.
Yeah, they want to do the peep through the tent. Which is done, which this film came before. And I know I keep going back to it. Something Wicked This Way Comes. They do the same exact damn thing in that movie, where they cut a hole in the tent and look in the tent and shit.
Oh, you know, shit, man.
To see what's going on. Yeah, but this came before that. But
and those strippers, like you said, were fucking nasty, man.
They were nasty.
It's what you would get in a fucking, if you're paying for Carnival strippers, is exactly what you get.
Pretty damn authentic,
Yeah. When they get to look through as well, you can see all the fucking old guys in savulating in the crowd, and
they're all like,
it's so realistic. Yeah. I mean, I've been to see strippers. You know, me and my friends have all, you know, gone to see strippers in proper clubs and stuff, and it is really fucking like that. It really is.
Oh yeah.
But
Anthony says, let's see. He says, I just watched Sisters. That movie is really damn good. Finley is great at playing a weirdo. Yeah,
I fucking love Sisters, man. I love Sisters.
Have you seen Phantom of Paradise?
I've not seen that one.
Okay, he's a fucking weirdo in that one too. He is the Phantom in that one, but
right. But Sisters, I'll give you an act. Can you
do what?
I can hear an echo on my voice.
Can you?
Yeah.
Still?
Oh, it's gone now. It's gone. No, it's gone now. It's gone.
Okay.
Right. But what was I saying? Yeah, Base Sisters. It's got that actual clip of that fucking one crazy woman in it on the phone. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I love that film.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned the shit, I'll go ahead and do it. You know.
Yeah.
Better spray yourself, hon. You're not supposed to be in here.
I've got to use the telephone.
You're not supposed to be in here. No. Just think you can walk in here like that? Did you know that the germs can come through the wires? I never call and I never answer. It's a good way to get sick. Very, very sick. That's how I got so sick. Someone called me on the telephone!
I must use the telephone.
No! No! Don't give it to us all!
That scene is gold, man. I love that film. Yeah, underrated,
crazy.
Man.
Yeah.
It really is, but I want to go back and watch that now again. We covered that didn't we cover that on Chris's channel or Chris C's channel, I think?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, one on our one. But no, like, you know, when they go around the back as well, the tent, and they catch that guy having a piss as well.
Oh, he wasn't having a piss.
Wasn't he spying on them, but he was having a piss too?
I think he was beating off. What I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's beating. Yeah, I think he's all pervy.
Oh, maybe I missed. Yeah. Oh God,
like,
I didn't even pick up on that.
You know, kind of shit. You know, like, what's this old bastard doing back here? You know.
No, you're right. Thinking about it, I didn't even pick up on that because when he runs off, he says, "Like, you caught me having a piss," but he's obviously been doing the other.
He's beating his shit. That's what he was doing.
That makes it even more worse, though, because every character's like got these fucking weird things about them. But then we first get to see, like, really have a proper look at this guy in the Frankenstein mask, you know, Gunther.
Yeah.
Because we see brief glimpses of him running the carnival early on, but we don't really know. But the way he walks, you know.
And they do a great job because the guy's only 5'8", I think.
Right, yeah.
5'6", 5'8". So he looks bigger than he really is, you know, like certain scenes, but like they do a good job making him look bigger.
And he stands out as well. You can tell there's something off with the character, even in the mask. Just the way that guy walks and the way, like, it's just so fucking.
The way the kid's looking at him.
Yeah.
You know, he's all like, the fuck's up with you,
They
dude?
actually say, "Oh, that guy's kind of weird," don't they, or something like that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the film. Kind of just really just hots up from then on in, doesn't it? Because we get the first half hour is all we see all the characters building.
Shit, it's 45 minutes before we get a kill. You know.
It is. Yeah. That's right.
45 minutes before we actually get the first kill, which is good though, and a lot. You know, that's what I said. Like when this came out. Everybody was it was that blood slasher craze going on right now during this time.
Yeah.
So they were pissed off. People were mad. Like slasher fans, horror fans, they wanted blood, you know. And,
that's right. Yeah.
And this wasn't that film that they wanted, you know. So
but that's what's so good about it, because it's a slasher. It can be known as a slasher, but he does something different with it.
Yeah.
And
he develops the characters, lets you get to know everything that's going on.
Yeah, and it's kind of in the style of an older film anyway, like Freaks or like Frankenstein. It's kind of got that feel anyway, not just because of the masks or the Universal. It's just got a really creepy feel about it, and it doesn't come off like a My Bloody Valentine, The Burning, or anything like that. No. This is I probably put this in more higher esteem than those films, to be honest, because this has got that extra kind of element.
Does something way different. Yeah.
The creepiness as well. It's not just this guy with a fucking knife going around killing everyone.
There's a whole backstory to, you know, what it makes sense. Like, you know, like you could even compare him to like I know we said Leatherface, but like Voorhees, Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
In a way, you know. But
yeah, I can see that as well. Yeah, definitely. Probably he got a load of ideas, didn't he, from different things. But the scene, yeah, the opening kill, which I think is superb, and the way it's done, like, because what we didn't mention is the crane as well. There's a couple of crane shots in the film.
great
where,
shot. And everything's
yeah,
anamorphic. That's what we forgot to mention too.
in widescreen, yeah.
Everything's
Yeah.
anamorphic. But Hooper said that he was shooting everything when he was like very young. Like he had some kind of old school what was it? Some kind of, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Where everything was anamorphic. That's the way he sees everything when he's doing shit anyway. So this was great, you know, like this was the first time he was able to do that, basically.
So basically the backstory with that is, so Hooper, right, was I think his father or one of the family members used to own a cinema.
Right.
So he grew up watching 2-3 films every day.
Yeah.
And some of his earlier memories were actually in films rather than himself, if
Right.
that makes.
Yeah, I heard him talking. Yeah, saying that he thought that his memories were real life, but it was actually from a fucking movie.
And then he watched the film 20 years later and realized that it wasn't his actual memory from himself. It was from a film he watched.
That's crazy.
Which is great. Yeah. And he said he used to go around and he's seen so many films at that time that he would kind of just in real life go around picturing, you know, people and kind of putting them in frame and all that, which is fascinating to me. And you can see.
And I got to agree with him. The anamorphic widescreen is the superior composition, is what Hooper said.
Yeah, this was one of the first as well, I think, when it was edited or something. It was one of the first to be done in, you know, that kind of format.
And the sound mix too, right? It was like ultra stereo.
Yeah.
It was marketed that way. I think that's how it was marketed on the poster. It said ultra stereo or some shit.
I think that's what helps the soundtrack as well, because when we're in the actual carnival itself, it's got a different kind of soundtrack. You know, with you know, I don't want to go too much about the soundtrack, but yeah. So all 4 of these, you know, go on the ghost train ride, or we used to call it the ghost train, you know, like when
one we didn't mention though that was like a huge influence on this film, like to make this movie, Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, that's right.
Nightmare Alley, the original Nightmare Alley, of course, but
was that in the 40s or 50s, maybe?
Yeah.
I've not seen that. Have you seen that one yourself?
I have seen it. It's been a long time, but I've seen the remake too, which is pretty decent. It's okay.
That's Del Toro, isn't it? Done the remake.
Yeah,
I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like when Hooper mentioned it in the commentary or the interview or whatever. I thought that's one I'm gonna definitely try and watch.
I gotta bring up the scene where they're all getting stoned though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they had to do 5 takes when they're all getting stoned, and I thought that shit was hilarious.
Yeah, man, I know.
Because all the people on the rides are screaming their ass off, and they're vomiting, throwing up and shit while they're doing these takes of them getting stoned. Well, the reason is because nobody stopped the damn rides. Like,
that's right. Yeah.
All the people on the rides are still just going around and shit.
Yeah, they were screaming to come off, and when they come off it, they were vomiting. And I think Hooper said, didn't it? He said literally they done the 5 takes in about 15-20 minutes. He said the moment they stopped doing the takes, it started to piss down with rain. So he said, like, you know, that it was good that they got it done in that time. But yeah, that's kind of. All those rides are real, though, aren't they? All those rides are actually real rides. It's only the Funhouse that was made up for the film.
Right. Yep. But that's crazy that they just have them people just still going. Like they didn't stop none of that shit, you know? Like
Yeah.
All them extras, you know?
Yeah, it kind of gives it more authentic feel to it, doesn't it, really?
Right.
But yeah, so Joey goes on the Funhouse, doesn't he? Because, like I said to you, was it called the Funhouse when you used to go to these when you were younger? Because they were called the Ghost Train in the UK.
No, they're called the Funhouse, and then there's like the Funhouse, and then you had like sometimes it was like House of Mirrors and shit like that.
Oh god, yeah, we had that as well. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's usually. But as far back as I can remember, it's always been like not really a carnival, so to speak, but a state fair. Like once a year in October, usually in October, maybe late September to October, maybe November. They would be around for about a month, I guess. And yeah.
Yeah, we used to have them all the time, these fairs, but they go traveling around and you don't see it so much now. Like you say, they just pop up once a year or something now.
It's once a year
back
here.
in those days, it was fucking crazy, man. But Joey gets into he obviously pays all his little pocket money he's been saving up, and he gets into the fairground. And he's the first. I think he's the first one to go on it, isn't he? Yeah, he goes on the Funhouse the first time.
Yeah, and Gunther actually tucks him in and straps him in and everything.
Yeah.
Pushes them off.
Right, and I wouldn't even be surprised if you'd have to have an adult with you back in those days, like really. But I can't remember. I think you sort of have to have an adult in the UK, even if you were like, 10 or 11.
Well, I imagine if it was this fucking carnival, it didn't matter.
Oh God, yeah. But what do you think the backstory is with those two girls then who got killed? Do you think Gunther had anything to do with
it? We don't really know all the way. We just know that he killed him. We know he killed him because, but I'm guessing his father told him to do it.
Yeah,
because he said do something. You did it. You got to do something bad. You got to do something bad. I know you don't want, and he didn't want to. You see him in the corner, like It looks like he don't want to fucking kill nobody. But he's like,
that's what I'm saying. That the father is the evil one, I think.
Yeah, and he's like telling him like it's kind of like Frankenstein, right? Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
So he's like, do this bad thing, basically kill all these teens, and then I'll take you fishing.
Right? Yeah. Because the thing is with the film as well, I can imagine people in the cinema actually being really sad for the monster, and then when he gets his demise, being kind of like bummed out about it. But the actual kill of the father, I bet everyone was up and fucking cheering because that fucking guy's the fucking pit, man.
Oh man,
I don't know.
Kevin Conway plays that role perfect. I mean, he's
God, there's no other actor who could do that in any way. But yeah, he must have been a bit of a fucking shithead of a father anyway to let his son go through life like that, because surely, I don't know what the backstory is with Tad, but you would have killed, I think it'd have been justified to kill both of those babies off, when they're babies, rather than let them go through life like that. I don't know. Do you think they're twins?
Yeah. I think so.
Because I think that's kind of you've got to make your own conclusions on a lot of these things, but I think that's kind of hinted at, isn't it?
He mentions something about it. He says, Tad, like you went on and lived, or I can't remember what he said exactly, but
he kind of tries to make him feel guilty, doesn't he? That he actually went on and lived and Tad didn't.
Right.
And when you see the monster as well, he looks exactly the fucking same. The effects were. I'm not sure when did the Fangoria cover come out before this actual film come out? Do you know?
I'm not sure on that one, but I do remember seeing that on Fangoria.
Yeah, I've got it. I don't know if it's in my.
You got the magazine?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that magazine, that cover art. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I got the My Bloody Valentine one as well. But there's a thing with the book as well. I don't know if you read about the book. Was done by Dean Koontz.
Oh yeah.
And the film took that much a bit. It was kind of delayed in coming out at first, and the book actually made it out first. But apparently in the book, there's more characterizations, there's more character development than what we see in the film.
That'd be
I think that's
interesting to
kind of the
read.
main difference. Yeah.
That'd be an interesting read for sure.
I bet that goes for some money now as well.
Yeah. You got
and the TV cut as well, we mentioned.
Ultraviolet Hippie, this is a while back. He says, I love the magician scene. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Finley had a very small role, but he was effective, man. For sure.
Yeah.
Ultraviolet says, I'm out for the night. I've got to rest up for a human work day tomorrow. Great stream. I appreciate it, man. And yeah, it's a nasty one out there, man. It's just getting hotter, right? But we only got about a couple months left. And it'll be over.
Well, we haven't had a summer
month and a half,
to be honest.
Yeah, a month and a half. Yeah.
We had a crazy 4 days when it was really hot, and that was it. And tomorrow we just got rain, but I don't want to go on too much about the weather. So basically, then they get the idea where the 4 kids all come to this conclusion. Or I think is it Richie wants them all to stay in the Funhouse over
it's his great ass idea, let's stay in the Funhouse, and they're all like, what the hell? And
but I mean, it's a good way for her to lose her virginity, and I think that's kind of where she kind of rings her dad and her parents or whatever and tries
and
to
then
get them,
the girls do the shit that all kids did back then was, I'm staying the night at your house, you're staying the night at my house, we're gonna tell our parents. And parents never really checked that shit out unless you had some dickhead strict parents, but
right, yeah, because they go on this funhouse ride, and you can tell how fucking thick the monster is because their cats come out, don't they? The little cars come out, and they're not in them, and the monster Gunther is basically just looking at them. He's bewildered why they're not there, but he doesn't realize anything. And he just carries on because obviously he's got the mentality of, I would imagine, someone much younger as well.
Like a toddler, I'd say, probably.
Yeah.
Probably like a toddler, like a 2-year-old.
But yeah, you just can't put it together while they're not in there, or not in the cars. But that's where you get the first. I think you get one of the first crane shots, and you get the laughing woman as well, which is just always fucking creeps me out, man.
It is, man. It fucked me up as a kid. It really did. That laughing fat, and you get it right. I mean, I'm not trying to fast forward to the end of the film, but she's laughing at the end when when the fat lady sings,
Yeah. That's saying you as well,
right?
And then you've got that bag lady as well saying God is watching you, and you get to see the eye looking at them as well. That's no accident. I think that's what they were going for as well. But yeah, so while they're in the funhouse, they obviously get up to no good, don't they? They start screwing and whatever.
Yeah, Elizabeth gets naked again.
Yeah.
Topless, anyway. And
yeah.
As you do, I guess. When you make out, you just start, get topless.
Right.
But okay.
But do you want to? I'll let you, because I've spoken quite a bit. I'll let you mention the one scene with Madame Zena if you want to say about the kids and her death.
Oh, with Xena?
Yeah. Do you want to talk us through that one?
Yeah, so Gunther's kind of like, he's obviously the whole park shut down for the night, and he's got it planned with her to get him some,
Yeah.
And he comes at her with a little bit of money, and she's like, that's not enough. That's not enough. So then he goes into the box, his dad's box, and pulls out 100. And she's good with that. And
she plays it down, though, doesn't she? She said, "Oh, well, that's okay. But still realize how thick he is, giving her, because 100 back then is mega buck now.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that she knows what he looks like, because she asked him if he wants to take the mask off. He's like, no, and he's like the scared little kid, right?
So would you think she was part of the family then? Sorry if I, Do you think, because he mentions it, then the father says you killed one of our own a little bit later?
I think he just meant, I don't think that they're blood related, because she says, I'll put a curse on your whole lot. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think they're blood related. I think it's more family like, meaning the Carnival family.
Like the Manson family. Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah.
So, but yeah, then so she's like screaming at him, like, get your clothes off. What are you doing standing there screaming? She's pretty demanding to him. She gets down and turns the lights out. And, she starts rubbing on him, beating him off and shit. And, and then I guess he comes and shit. And then she wipes her hands off. She's like, okay, well, and he gets up pissed off,
Because she won't give him the money back, I think it is, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, she won't give him the money back, but he was wanting to do something. He didn't want a hand job, And she's like, well, it's not my fault you can't control yourself from all that shit. And he just goes off, man. Starts strangling her, electrocuting her and shit.
Oh, man, it's great.
I guess he was electrocuting her. Who knows what the fuck was going on? Was that her power? I don't know what the fuck happens there,
I love that scene as well, because the character, because she's at first she's kind of nice to him. She says, oh, well, that could happen to anyone. And but like when he gets really pissed then with the money, and she completely
he's all
changes.
You see his hands like ball up,
Yeah.
He's pissed off.
And, of course, all these kids are watching from above as well, which makes it even more kind of.
So they witness the murder. He strangles her, and then the dad comes in there, and then one of them, I think it was Richie, drops the damn lighter like a dumbass. Lets them know that they're there. So then it's on. Then he's like, well, the father's wanting to take him out, and he wants Gunther to do it, but Gunther's like kind of against it at first, right?
Yeah. He kind of like almost kind of blackmails him into doing it, because he says, get it done type thing. And then,
dude, you got to do this one more bad thing. That's when he mentions that, in the other town that they had killed a couple girls.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, do this one bad thing, and then I'll take you fishing.
That's right. Yeah. As if it's just an all normal everyday thing, going around killing people.
Yeah.
Because he's pissed at him at first, isn't he? Because he said that, obviously she's one of our own, being a carnival worker.
I guess he had told him, however he talks to him or whatever, that he killed somebody, But
it's exactly like Leatherface, man, in that scene where he gets like Gunther gets his strop on, doesn't he? Where he starts just going fucking mad with himself,
Yeah, he's telling him to hit himself.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just,
he's like, hit it, boy. Hit yourself, boy. I'm going to hit you. All this shit, right? They're like, what the hell?
He kind of plays good cop, bad cop, doesn't he? The dad. One minute he's nice to him, the next minute he's just horrible to him. And you can see the mental fucking torture abuse he's given him over the years. And physical probably as well. But there's no denying, even though like Texas Chainsaw are completely different films, there's no denying there's that kind of vibe, which is a good thing. I think it's in no ways a bad thing, I think. That whole scene.
That's a great scene. It really is, because like Madame Xena, right?
Yeah.
What's her name? Damn.
Sylvia Miles.
Yeah, Sylvia Miles. She does not a very big role, but a very important role, and very effective. But
let
me check the chat right quick. We got Chris in here. What's going on?
Hey Chris, what's up, man?
Hey everyone, what's happening, man? We're talking some Funhouse. We got Spicy 4K action. What's happening, man? He says, "Sup, Dirt, Darren." Hey chat. Hell yeah. What's going on, man? Chris says going to see Long Legs tomorrow. Cool.
Nice.
I'm finally going to see Maxine tomorrow. So let's see. Everybody's saying what's up. Let's see. Wild Wrangler says it's on like Donkey Kong, Dirt. Man.
Like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so basically kind of, I guess, speed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
We go through you know, they're trying to get the kids, and they're trying to kill them, and that's when the Bava shit starts coming into play, like with all the colors in the Funhouse itself.
Yeah,
Like it reminds me of Mario Bava so much. Like, and I
it
guess,
does. It really does. Yeah.
but yeah, it kind of one by one. It happens really quick though, don't it? Right? You know, uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
after all that shit happens, Richie, he's sitting there talking about some memory he had of being scared in the closet with his brother and shit. Then
Right.
next
That
thing
was
you know,
weird as well. Yeah.
yeah, you're like, what the fuck? That's so random. And then all of a sudden, a skeleton pops up, and then a noose goes around his neck, pulls him up, and then
One of the best kills you'll ever see. Because
yeah,
that
yeah,
motherfucker, like, had gone back 5 minutes previously and pinched all the money as well
yeah,
from the box,
yep,
which
yep,
makes him even more of a scumbag. Because, like you say, some of the kids in this are not likable characters apart from the
no,
Elizabeth Berry's character. He's
right,
the only one who really you like or you're rooting for.
yeah,
But yeah, that kill with Richie when he like, well, we don't even know if he's killed at that point because he's hung up with a noose, and
yeah.
then he comes back out, doesn't he, in the car, through the ride, and then fucking
I think
Buzz.
he was probably strangled though. What I
Yeah, it
gather,
may have been dead at that point, but
but
Buzz
still so
fucking,
damn effective when
oh god, you
they
see
see
the
that car
silhouette.
coming, and
Yeah,
Buzz is sitting there with the big axe and shit, and Amy had done grabbed a dagger or whatever, hits him in the head with the axe and shit, and that shot of him fucking the car going right
yeah.
with the axe. I mean, that's like one of the best shots of the whole fucking movie. I think, man. Like,
It's one of the best slasher
yeah,
scenes like
yeah,
on film, like certainly for the time.
yeah,
The whole last 20 minutes, like you say, this leading up to the whole last 20 minutes is just all fucking superbly done.
right,
Um, the whole demise of the characters as well. Certainly of the father and Gunther himself. It's got to be one of the greatest, I think, endings to a slasher character with Gunther
yeah,
because the way it's played out, because it's basically an accident as well. I know we're probably jumping a little bit, but
yeah. That's fine.
um,
That's fine.
she's kind of, but Buzz has a fight, with the father.
Yeah.
And the father kind of gets the upper hand for a bit, doesn't he? Which is, you're surprised because it's
Which wouldn't happen. Let's be real.
no, there's
Yeah.
no way that would
Yeah.
happen. But the whole thing with the dagger, you think the mannequin's got a dagger, or like a soldier in anything got a dagger and he falls onto it.
Yeah.
That's done really well, I think.
Yeah, it was a sword. It
The
was
sword, that's what it is. Yeah,
it was a sword.
yeah.
He gets pushed onto it, and then Buzz gets stabbed a little bit, which I was confused
Yeah,
because
because he shows a little bit, doesn't he, with on his stomach?
yeah, but he's like really not affected. He's just running around afterwards. That's one part of the movie. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But but then Gunther, I guess we don't see it, but he takes care of Buzz off screen, and
he does. Yeah,
you see a clown come out like that. That's a creepy motherfucking clown too. Comes out,
yeah.
Like
It's
what
fucking
the hell?
all of it's weird imagery and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if you think too deep on this movie, I guess like we are, like there's a bunch of questions. Like, what the fuck? What's going on here?
You can do it both ways, or you can watch this as a fun 80s slasher. Like, but obviously, if you've seen it one or two or three times even, you will start looking into it a lot more. And you've got to like listen to the Tobe Hooper commentary, and watch all his interviews because it kind of like spells out a little bit more as well. Because the whole ending with the killer, man. So he's kind of electrocuted by accident. You've got the final girl, Amy, and just the way that's done, man.
Well, he's getting caught in the gears too.
Yeah.
They're
And
grinding.
the whole suspense of that, because you've even got the one girl, Elizabeth Berry's girlfriend, basically. She got like an awful death as well, which is kind of really suspenseful.
Yeah, we didn't even mention. We got to mention that scene. So where she goes through the trap door after she's sitting there freaking out, screaming over Richie, and there's a trap door. She flies down, and then the next thing you know, she wakes up in a damn like a ventilation shaft.
Yeah.
With a fucking fan going, and then that's one of the creepiest scenes.
And that's kind of done because her actual kill is kind of done. We don't really see it all.
Right.
But when he's coming towards her and she's got like no option, she got nowhere to go, and she sees this.
She can die going through the fan.
Yeah.
And then she's trying to offer herself up. She's like, you don't have to pay me.
Yeah.
And all this shit. You're like, what the hell?
And he starts to go for that for a minute, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Doesn't he start to kiss her? Or he starts to
he's like hugging on her, and she's freaking out. But she was lying to him the whole time. She ends up stabbing him.
Right. And I think, like you're on about the gore as well, there's not too much gore in this. And I think with her kill, they kind of show it up to a certain point, but we don't see her head go through the fan. But that's obviously what happens.
Well, he slices her face too.
Yeah.
With his claws. And you see it a couple times, and then you see her face later.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the whole thing with not seeing Buzz get killed as well.
Right.
Like, you don't have to show fucking like Texas.
Leave it to the imagination.
Exactly. Yeah.
It makes it creepier. Yeah.
It does. Yeah. And the deaths we do see kind of adds to it anyway. Because it just goes to show you don't have to fucking have blood and guts and do all these elaborate scenes. But the way the killer gets electrocuted and he starts fucking shaking. Oh man.
Yeah. And
that guy, that Wayne Tobe,
twisted up,
Yeah. What a way to die, man. That's gotta be one of the best deaths ever in a slasher film. Full fucking stop, man. That would have been painful as fuck.
Hell yeah.
Getting stuck between those two. Like I don't know, like spin reels or something or whatever it is.
Gears, like they're
gears. Yeah.
Big ass gears grinding. I don't know what the hell they went to, but one of the fucking rides, I guess.
Yeah, man. And basically you've got the whole thing which we kind of touched on earlier with the whole thing with the parents pick up their son. He's kind of running through the carnival, one of the can. He's really fucking weird.
Yeah.
The way he's holding him, and
he's like, I clean him up for y'all.
Yeah, like
all right, weird shit.
I think that's kind of touched upon him being kind of like a pedophile in a way, I think, but it's not said. But yeah, it's kind of creepy. But then obviously you get final girl. Then she manages to get out of all this shit, and it's kind of like Sally in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What the fuck is she just been through, man? Like, you couldn't even write this down. Like, no one would believe it, would they? Like, if you think about
pretty damn effective. It's pretty effective. Her, like, there at the end, the way she looks, like,
I love
like she done been through it. Yeah, like her mascara's done poured down her face. Like, and then and then the old lady Carney, and then a guy that she saw at the very beginning, he's like just some wandering, looks like a homeless guy.
They call him the geek. I think they call him the geek, but I don't know why they call him that. But he's like, I thought he was just some homeless guy. Yeah, he was just a bit mad in the head.
Right.
But yeah, the whole isolation when she gets out the funhouse at the end. You got the crane shot that finishes her off as well, and we get to see her walking through this deserted type of, it's dawn in the morning, so it's all kind of deserted. There's a few people here and there,
and then the fat lady's singing, laughing.
Exactly, that's so creepy, man.
And then you see the eye does that weird shit, like it's weird. It's like the eye moves to one eye just moved to a certain position. It's
so like weird. You say, is that fucking supernatural as well?
Yeah.
It's kind of hinted on.
Is the Funhouse alive?
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, what a film, man! What a film. I think this is one of the more underrated fucking. I want to call it a slasher. I suppose it is a slasher, but it's a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a slasher, but it's a very fleshed out. It's got the gothic feel too, because of the carnival, I guess. in a way.
Yeah, it's got the gothic. It's got all the universal, like there's everything in this, like, but yeah, I mean, I'm a massive fan of Salem's Lot, and I think I do kind of just go like, I would say Salem's Lot is probably my favorite out of these two.
Yeah,
but Funhouse is not far behind. I don't think it's definitely.
I
Like
would probably put Eaten Alive above it.
Oh, would you really?
Yeah.
I can see that, but yeah.
I did want to mention that. So we were talking about the cinematographer earlier. So
yeah,
that's Andrew Laszlo. He was the same cinematographer for the Warriors.
Right, and that's got all the colors as well. Apparently, that's where he got the idea.
Yeah,
didn't he do? I think he done Salem's Lot as well. I might be, if I'm thinking.
I'm not sure on that one. And I did see that Gene Siskel was said that this was a guilty pleasure of his.
There you go. Yeah,
Gene Siskel of all people.
The guy who hated slasher films, basically.
He hated horror films, period. Like,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That tells you a story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How well made this is, like, you know. This is not your fucking average run of the mill slasher, like, at all.
But man, Tobe Hooper, like I said it earlier, but highly underrated. You know, he needs more praise, like Carpenter, like Romero, like Craven. You know what I mean?
He's above Craven for me.
I know. I'm just saying he needs more praise than those guys get.
Yeah.
Like, I think. And you know, like I said, he embraced the horror. He embraced that title of horror director. And unlike most of the stuck-up fucks in Hollywood, you know, like,
yeah,
he's a true fan of the shit, of the horror, of the genre.
I don't think you'd have, like you mentioned earlier, you would not have got Rob Zombie if you didn't get fucking Texas Chainsaw and fucking this film. Like,
right.
He based his, you know, his early career anyway on that.
Yeah, you could say House of 1,000 is based off of Funhouse, and Rejects would be based off of Chainsaw in a way.
Yeah.
Or both, really, a mixture of the two. But
he also said, Tobe Hooper said that there was never any mention of a sequel to this as well. Because at the time there were Friday the 13th sequels coming out and what have you, but I'm glad they didn't.
But Chris said, love the Funhouse, top tier slasher. Yeah, definitely, man.
It's top tier horror, I think.
Yeah.
Not just slasher.
Right.
It really is.
And then Wild Wrangler asked, did Tobe Hooper have to get the rights to use the Frankenstein from Universal? No, because this is a Universal film. So he got the rights automatic. That's why you see, like, at the very beginning of the film, a poster of Frankenstein on the wall, you know.
Yeah.
And you see Bride of Frankenstein on the TV, and then of course the mask and the hands, the gloves and everything. But no, he was already
any pick. Sorry.
Yeah, if he wanted to put the creature from the Black Lagoon in there, he could have.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, any pick of any of the Universal Monsters characters. Like I said earlier, you know, you've got Rick Baker basically just come up with the idea of the mutant, and it just works, man.
But he got the idea actually from looking at Anomaly people. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Because he said he's seen somebody.
Kind of.
He said he felt bad because he's seen a guy that kind of looked like Gunther, but they added the fangs.
Oh shit, man!
But there was a guy that actually looked a lot like Gunther does, except he didn't have the fangs, of course. So they added that. They added the fangs. So
can you remember the year the Elephant Man come out? Was this before? Was that before this?
I don't remember. I mean, I remember it as a child. I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
It bored me to tears when I was a kid, but going back now, and I love the film. But
I love. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of like, influence there.
I don't know if that was. I don't know. Let me look it up right quick just to make sure. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
If it's before this film, then I would imagine it's got to be some kind of influence. You know, the John Merrick character.
I know that was David Lynch's first you know, that was his huge film. Like that was
that's a Lynch film I absolutely love. I
yeah.
grew up with The Elephant Man as well. Very touching story, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah, that's a sad movie, but it's true too. Yeah, 1980.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm guessing that's a little bit of an influence then. But when you say a film's got so many influences, you usually think that film's going to be subpar to, you know, to a lot of the others. But this is not. This is like really rare, where you can do a homage to something and really fucking knock it out the park as well.
Yeah.
Unlike the fucking Zombie or fucking Eli Roth, who I said earlier was going to do the remake, which is crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't do a remake to this though. When you think about it.
Yeah, don't say that too loud.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for. I know. But
yeah.
I
mean,
think
if you had a credible director like that could actually do it, somebody like Ty West or
yeah, you'd have to go all out as well. You'd have to like not hold back on the fucking character of the monster and all that. You still have to do like a mutation version and all that. None of this shit you get today where they're fucking woke and they're too scared to put this in. Maybe that's why, you know, people are too scared to like do it. But I don't know. Can you imagine what Rob Zombie would have done with this as a you know, I know we kind of like riffed on it, but
yeah.
It would have been a better suit for him to do this than fucking Halloween, put it that way.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You know?
No doubt. This is more of something he would want to do, you know?
Yeah,
Unlike Halloween, he didn't want to do that shit. So
that was all about money though, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Wild says, Dirk and Darren, do y'all like The Initiation 1984? Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of Scooby-Doo at the end, but you know.
It is. It's got Viva Miles in. I think it's got Clue Gallagher.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got the girl from The Fly too as well.
What's the main chick?
I'm trying to think of her name. She was in The Dawn of Drip Blood as well.
She was big during that time. Like she was huge during that time.
Yeah.
I can't think of her damn name though.
I'm blanking on her name, but I can see her face.
Initiation is pretty good though.
It is a very good film. I'd say that's another one that gets lumped into like this straight on slasher, but it's kind of a little bit better than that as well. I'd say.
CK and Uncle Bill just covered that on Dead Pit.
Yeah, didn't they like Death Screams a little bit more, which I was kind of because I like Death Screams. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I didn't. I was kind of surprised that they liked that over Initiation.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know.
Right. But yeah, man, I guess I think we did it justice, man. Like the Funhouse ain't real deep. Ain't a real deep. I mean, there's some layers to it. I'll say that. But I think
I think we did like 2 hours on it. So yeah.
Yeah. I think it's more than surface level slasher though. I'll say that.
Absolutely, right? Yeah, big time. And I mean, we are going to be doing like, you know, I don't want to go too much away from the Giallo, like for weeks and weeks. But I mean, we're going to be doing Salem's Lot pretty soon as well. So we're going to do that as a one-off too. I can't wait to listen to because I've never heard the Tobe Hooper commentary for that. And I can't wait to do the whole 3 hours watching that. You know, with a commentary.
Salem's Lot. That's another
one.
Oh
man, that's a great.
That terrified me as a kid. Like, really did.
That was the first one that terrified me as a kid. And we played the shit out because we recorded both of the episodes because they were on BBC One. And I remember just playing the shit out of it and just being so fucking scared. Every kind of.
I remember looking out my window at night when I went to bed. Like,
yeah.
I didn't want to see that. I want to make sure that damn little vampire kid wasn't there.
Man, there's so much with that film. You got the fucking woman in the hospital as well. Yeah. When she's like fucking man. Yeah. But we'll keep all that for that, man.
Yeah. Wild says, great stream, guys. I appreciate it, man. And I appreciate everybody who's been in here, man. We had pretty steady, like 10 in here for the most part.
Nice.
So that's cool. Anthony's Horror More says, I just watched Opera for the first time. Damn, that film was badass. Great rock soundtrack too. Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's gone to my number one Argento film. And it was Suspiria for a long time.
Yeah.
But there's something about Opera that I absolutely adore that film. I just love everything about it. The soundtrack is superb.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the killer,
I love Opera too, man. It's
the whole thing with the Alps as well. You got the killer running around the Alps at the end. There's like 2 or 3 different endings to it, which I love. But yeah, stay tuned. Maybe when that new release comes out, when we get our hands on it, that me and Dirk's probably going to be doing, a big one-off for that.
Deep. We'll go real deep. We'll go deep as hell on Opera for sure.
I know we were going to plan to do it on the Eurocult podcast, but I mean, if Steve's watching this and he wants to come on, if we do that, you're more than welcome, Steve.
Yeah, Captain B Plan's always welcome, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're gonna get up out of here. It's been great. It's Sunday. I'm off tomorrow, but it's been a great one, man. I think we did good on this one. I hope we did anyway. Somebody let us know if we didn't. I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully people I can't imagine too many have not seen this anyway, but if you go back, if people are watching on the replay, maybe I'll give this one a go, man, and just like go in don't go in expecting a normal run-of-the-mill slasher, because this is everything and more. That's all I can say. That's
Yeah, and hopefully you didn't listen to this whole stream before you watched the damn movie, because
yeah.
But I mean, I don't think it would affect it that much though. This type of film, but
yeah, I've viewed spoilers in the past, and it doesn't stop me from watching the film anyway. But
but yeah, man, we're gonna get up out of here, and y'all have a good rest of your weekend, and I will leave everyone. And just remember,
God is watching you. He hears everything.
Who will dare to face the challenge of the Funhouse? Who is brave enough? Who is mad enough to enter that world of darkness? Terrifying. Terrifying. You will scream with terror. You will pay for release. But there will be no escape. For there is no release.